But kind of leverage it a little bit. I never seen a receiver do this, but I watched Amari Cooper run one he set up with a fade slant. One he set up going to the flex.
Like one of the highest receivers in the game.
You know what I'm saying?
Not the highest, not in that tier. There are tiers.
Tier?
I think he's in that second tier for sure. What he's been able to do. But look, when you look at what Amari Cooper was able to do this year in Dallas, this thing was tailored for him. So now, here we go. Everybody knows now when you walk on the field, you're the number one option for the Dallas Cowboys offense on the outside. How do you respond to that? When you see receivers get paid, it's a number of years. They don't jump to pay receivers early. No franchise does unless you're stupid, unless you hadn't seen this guy put in work and have the ability to carry that torch as a number one guy at least for 2 or 3 years before you make that decision. The Giants ain't give Odell Beckham $98 million because they liked him. They gave it to him because he was a highly productive and in the first tier of wide receivers. Amari Cooper has to work himself to that. He's wanting $18 to $20 million a year. I'm not giving him.
I like Amari Cooper, but I'm not giving him that.
I give him 15.
That's Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
That's Julio Jones.
I give him 15.
That's DeAndre Hopkins. That's those guys. But would I give Amari 15 a year? I'd give him 15 a year.
Yeah.
And by the way, getting back to Dak, I'm not sitting there saying, excuse me, $33 million to throw that number out that you threw out there. But excuse me, if Russell Wilson gets $107 million in guarantees based on his resume and productivity, guess what I'm thinking? I'm thinking, all right, you're going to get a little bit less. And the fact that you gave Carson Wentz the same amount of guaranteed dollars vexes me because he doesn't deserve that.
Dak is a $20 to $25 million a year player if you're a smart franchise.
Get the hell out of
here.
here.
Paid more than that because I don't think the Cowboys are very smart with the way
20
they do this
to
all the
25.
they've gotten smarter.
You've got to be
Amari
smoking
Cooper,
some
I'll tell you why I
crack,
would
man.
pay him.
Max.
I think his upside is
Max.
end of the first tier. Like, he's never going to be better than Odell or Antonio Brown or Julio Jones. But I think he might be like the last guy you'll mention in that first tier of guys. I think that's his upside. He's 25 years old. And did you hear how he just sounded on this show?
Absolutely.
Not a distraction.
I love it.
Puts it, you know,
I love it. But I'm so glad both of you guys are not in the damn front office. Because if you pay Amari Cooper that kind of money, all right, let's talk about what franchises need to do in order to win games.
Can't
right?
overpay receivers.
You can't do it. Here's the deal. If you don't have a record-breaking, game-changing guy at that position, you don't even have a conversation about them being close to $20 million a year. Julian Edelman could have left New England and probably got paid the $15 to $16 million a year.
Hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business, and let's wake up the football gods up here. And guys, you know, I hate to say this, but Marcus Spears has the ESPN Cowboy stank on him. Because here's what happens. When you are a Dallas Cowboy and you become a commentator, you have to go ahead and just trash the Dallas Cowboys. You literally have to just say they suck and just go ahead and toe the company line. Toe the company line of hating the Dallas Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? You've seen it with Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman, the Dallas Cowboys, they need to blow it all up. Dak, you know, either you got it or you don't got it. You know, Darren Woodson was smart enough to go ahead and say, I need to get the heck out of here before this stuff just washes all over me. So now you got Marcus Spears just hating on the Dallas Cowboys and everything else. There's Miss Jackie. What's happened to Miss Jackie? You know, E2Blu is always E2 late, so E2 hasn't gotten here yet. And if he doesn't get here soon, he's going to miss out on the chicken wings. But as you can see, Voch Lombardi up here trying to steal my good stuff. So, friends, without further ado, let me just switch cameras here real quick so you can see where you can see over there.
Get him up like Chris Tucker.
Well, hello, friends. How you guys doing over there?
We're doing all right over here.
Okay, y'all are on camera right now. Say hello to everybody.
What's going on, everybody? DMV here.
Oh, shit. Okay, I got
E2Blu's on the phone, huh?
Boss is on the phone. E2 late.
E2Blu is late as always. Okay, so, they've had a few drinks. They've had some chicken wings, some extra spicy ones and stuff. So they're going to be throwing some heat and things. So, guys, I'm sitting here listening to ESPN, and Max Kellerman said that Dak Prescott is a $20 to $25 million quarterback. Is that anywhere near rational?
It was probably maybe at the end of the year, maybe.
Okay.
But now, absolutely not. The longer we wait, the more you add on to what Dak is worth, and you got to start at what Carson Wentz's deal is, in my opinion. You have to at least start there.
Well, as they were putting it, they were saying basically, Russell Wilson got $107 million guaranteed. That Dak shouldn't get anywhere near that. But and I can understand that if you hadn't paid Carson Wentz that kind of money. I don't see where Carson Wentz is guaranteed $104 million. But then again, I didn't see Kirk Cousins getting the money that he had. Well, but for Max Kellerman to go through and say that he's a 20 to 25, that's not even realistic.
So does that mean that we can go and see exactly what Stephen A makes, and we can go and say that Max is maybe 40% of what Stephen A is?
He shouldn't even be that much.
Did y'all know that Max was a rapper back
then? Yes,
he
was.
Yeah. He was trash.
He wasn't trash. He was a product of the time.
Him and his brother did the little
boxing. He was trash.
Him and his brother did the boxing track.
Yeah. Damn, Max.
You should have brought that one up.
You did that for the culture, didn't you, bro? Slip and slide, take it to the house. Okay.
Well, I tell you what, since we are here in the man cave, we can actually. We'll go ahead and change up.
Oh no!
I know his neck hurt. He said.
Hey, Max was hot before Eminem. Damn.
Yeah.
Ooh. Why you do my man Max like?
Max is real.
So, yeah.
Check Cook, everything.
Yeah, so.
Oh, that's corny. I am on TV, boy. I am on that soup, boy.
Yeah, so that's what we get with Max Kellerman. Okay, so now he's an expert on football. Well, we know he's not an expert on rapping. But on serious note, though, guys, when they talk about Dak, Box, let me ask you, because you ended up doing the video about the sacks that Dak Prescott took to 56. Do you think, or how much of that was the offensive line? How much was that Dak just basically holding on to the ball too much?
Can the people see me? Can the people hear me? Because I'm not going to engage in nothing unless the people can see.
The camera's right there.
Oh, shit, the camera right there. Hold on.
Yes, you're on the camera.
I'm looking at the chat box right now. People in the chat box 7 can't hear me because I'm not going to say a word until I get verification that y'all hear me loud and clear.
Dude,
me and John G sitting at the bar table.
The microphone is down the other end, which is an ambient microphone that gets everything.
There's some shit. Now I got to move my... I don't want to mess up your show.
No, dog. They hear you clearly. Believe me, I got you in my ear, okay?
All right, so here we go, y'all.
You don't have to sit down by the mic, man. You were loud and clear. Believe me, loud and clear from right there.
Well, Mark, I don't want to yell. Can you hear me perfectly now, though?
You didn't have to yell. We can still hear you loud. I can turn you up and down if I need to.
So,
but go ahead.
So, listen, folks. I was doing my research, right? And I'm giving all this information to Mark Holmes' live stream exclusively because I haven't even put out all the information on my videos. I just wanted to put them out piece by piece and leave y'all hanging cliffhanger till season 2. But I'm gonna give y'all some information I've been working on because I was curious. It's June, and we're still having this conversation about whose fault is it? Is it the offensive line's fault? Was it Dak's fault? So the number is 58 sacks, 56 regular season, but then there was one versus the Seahawks, one versus the Rams. So 58 sacks altogether. Dak Prescott was 16 of those. And if you want to fact check anything that I'm saying, go to my channel. I'm putting it all on the screen. I'm showing you what I'm doing. 16 of those were Dak's fault. Now, that's a combination of Dak trying to make things happen, Dak trying to improvise, La'el Collins getting whooped, and Dak running from people. I kind of live and die by that. I'm cool with that because, we may hate Dak for holding the ball and getting sacked, but we love Dak when he can hold the ball, scramble, and find B's in the back of the end zone for a touchdown versus the Giants. So I'm not really going to hold him too much, but 16 sacks out of 18 games, if that's like what? I can't count. 0.8 sacks per game or something like that,
Yep.
just trying to make things happen. I'll take that from my quarterback or whatever. This is what I can't take. In first place on the offensive line, La'el Collins was responsible for 9.16. So that's like he had like 8 sacks, then like 2 half sacks. Cause that light right there, man. That light.
They need to see you. You're
That
good.
light. Mark got this bright ass light over here.
You're in the studio, man.
So La'el
Did you
had.
say you want to work for ESPN?
Hell no.
You better get used to the lights, man.
They'll fire me because I'm gonna flirt with all these women and they gonna. Anyway.
Now you have to rap first, and then you can work for them.
So what I did was I broke it down by single sacks, then half sacks, then sacks in the third. So I got real heavy with my research or whatever. La'el Collins was responsible for 9.16 sacks. He had 7 by himself, 3 halves, and then he had 2 thirds. That's a lot. That's plenty. Somebody asked me, well, Voch, 9.16 sacks. I mean, that's not a lot. I mean, but we got 5 offensive linemen, and one of them is giving up damn near 10. The other 4 got to be perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So La'el Collins really putting us in a bad spot. In terms of your guards, your left guards, Connor Williams and Xavier Su'a-Filo, it's interesting here because Xavier Su'a-Filo played 8 games and Connor Williams played 12, but they both had the same exact number of sacks, which was 6.16.
Okay.
So that's interesting.
Now, but on Xavier, I'm going to ask you a question because I'm trying to remember which game it was that he ended up getting poked in the eye, and literally it was like you would have thought it was any given Sunday where he left his eyeball out there.
Yeah.
Do you think that affected him going forward? Because if you ain't got one eye, I'm just saying.
So
because I know you kind of said he's garbage.
Sure, and I showed that in my video. Y'all can go watch it after we're done here.
Shameless plug.
So Mark, if I'm visually impaired and you beat me with a sack, I'm assuming it has something to do with my vision. Like you beat me with a fake. Oh, this side I can't see. You hit me this way.
Yeah.
Maybe. Xavier Su'a-Filo was getting picked up, carried, and thrown into Dak Prescott.
Okay.
There was this myth. I don't know what platform put it out, but there was this myth that, Xavier Su'a-Filo is bigger. It's harder to move him. He may not be great movement-wise, but...
No, that's not true.
But you'll have to go around him.
It's the low man wins.
Xavier Su'a-Filo was picked up, carried, and moved, just like Connor Williams was. So, does Xavier have to put on 15 pounds? Does Xavier Su'a-Filo have to lift weights in the offseason? I don't know. But he played less games.
Equipment over here. I don't even know what the heck that is.
See, y'all want me sweating all over the place. So I just found it interesting that Connor played more games and they gave up the same amount of sacks. Plus, if you watch the Rams game, Connor Williams did a pretty okay job against Aaron Donald. That's also on my channel. Who's next? Shockingly, Joe Looney gave up the least sacks. He gave up a third of a sack. He didn't even give up a whole. he just gave up 1/3 of a sack. I went back to do a little more research just to see why that was, because he's the center. He has a lot of help. These guards, they don't have help. Like you can. What the hell is Mark though?
Sorry, I was trying to get the live stream so I can see the comments while I'm sitting here.
You can.
I don't have I'm sorry, I don't have a computer over here yet.
I understand. Like if it's an end and he's whooping the tackle, you can put a tight end out there. Or if the one tech is whooping the center, you can put the guard there. But if it's a 3 tech lined up over a guard, that's a one-on-one situation. There's nothing else you can do about it. So these guys like Fletcher Cox, these guys like Jaron Reed, Sheldon Richardson, they really ate us up there, and that's where most of our sacks came from. People thought that Tyron Smith maybe had a bad year, that he had a down year, that he was. Look, I tell everybody, judge these offensive linemen on 68 plays, not 6 to 8 plays. You know what I'm saying? Tyron Smith only gave up 4 sacks, and that was in 15 games. That's a pretty good number. Zach Martin gave 2.83, which is also good.
Mm-hmm.
I had this one cat call in. That's why you can't listen to everybody. This one cat called into my show. He was like, he thought that Leo Collins was the better offensive lineman than Zach Martin. I hung up on him. I hung up on him.
Wait, what?
I hung up on him immediately. Y'all, like I said, it's on my channel.
Look, Zach Martin on one leg is still better than Lyle Collins.
I agree.
Because basically, now, I want you guys to realize, he hurt his leg at training camp, did not finish training camp and stuff. He ended up going out early in the Redskin game here at FedEx Field, because I remember seeing, before the halftime, him going in and limping. I was like, oh, shit. So he had been on borrowed time the whole season and still was one of the best guards in football.
Yep.
What All Pros did Collins make? Because All Pro is voted by who?
Collins who?
Lyle Collins.
Yeah,
he ain't been a Pro Bowler.
All Zach Martin knows is All Pro.
No.
That's all,
right,
Zach Martin knows.
So do you? Okay, here,
wrapping up.
Okay.
Two more stats.
Okay.
Cam Fleming gave up 1.83, which is solid. He only had like 3-4 games, so 1.83 sacks in that. I mean, fine, cool, whatever. Adam Redmond only played one game. He gave up 2 sacks in that. That was at Indy. Then there were 10 sacks that weren't on us, and I feel like I had to make this category, and that could be like play calling. It could be some defender just made a fantastic play that we could do nothing about. Just something just crazy happening, or Dak like scrambling, and instead of throwing the ball and
trying to make a play,
whatever.
Yeah.
So I got 10 sacks that weren't on us, and that's 58 sacks altogether, which is way too many.
Okay, so 10 sacks on the quarterback in a season. That's all, like really every other game,
Sure.
basically.
Sure.
I'm curious how that stands with other quarterbacks. But you don't have that stat, do you?
Somebody would have to pay me to do that stat.
Okay.
I'm only a Cowboys fan.
Well, I'll tell you what. You guys let me know if I need to put Voch on retainer. So let me know if I need to make him employed. Hopefully you guys are enjoying what we're doing here. This is my man cave. This is actually sitting here behind the bar. It was great because Voch ended up being in town, and maybe he's going to be in town a lot more. So it was like, hey, yo, I'm coming by and I want some wings. I'm like, well, we're going to do it Friday night then, so we at least get a show out of it. Mm-hmm. But I'm looking forward to the season to be able to get the guys and stuff here at the bar, or to be sitting down watching TV or whatever, so that way we get you guys great coverage on the Dallas Cowboys. And we're right now in that dead zone period between minicamp where you get a taste, and then it gets dropped off. And so now we're, of course, in the dead zone.
Can I say this too?
Go ahead.
Can I say this too?
You can say anything you want. You're here in the man cave.
I put out a lot of information.
A lot.
And it kind of hurts my soul when some BS video I put out, I just put some little BS video, just me playing on the marker board, get 20,000 views, but some real information I'm really trying to get out.
That's YouTube, man.
That may get like 2,500. I hate that. So there were some people telling me about Leo Collins and what they were like concerned about him. Well, Voch, would it be better if he played guard? Well, Leo Collins doesn't have a movement problem. Like, he's a tackle. He doesn't have a movement problem. He doesn't have a problem with power. He misses with his hands. So I went back to do the research. I'm like, was Leo Collins better at guard? And he was missing the same blocks at guard that he's missing at tackle. Okay. So like you said, low man wins. If I'm Leo Collins and somebody fakes me low and I shoot high and they get inside on me, you're going backwards. Mm-hmm. I would rather have Leo Collins getting whooped on the outside than getting whooped on the inside.
True, because it's a closest point,
sure,
straight line, and it's a right up the. Quarterbacks hate to have that pressure up the gut.
Yeah.
Outside, they can step up. In the middle, and that's why that's in a whole nother discussion where I wanted the guy in the middle, that one technique guy, that can get that push. Yeah. But the question then is, are we going to look at a reshuffle of this offensive line? We know Tyron Smith is starting at tackle. We know Zach Martin is starting at guard. We know that Travis Frederick, if he is 100% healthy, is starting at center.
Yeah.
Are we getting Connor Williams starting at guard, even though he really wants to play tackle? Or is he getting kicked out? And are we looking at the governor coming in as a rookie starting?
I think and tell me if I'm wrong, just be all here. I think how the Dallas Cowboys work, they're just going to go with seniority. They're going to go with where they've been at. Mm-hmm. Nolan Carroll started at corner week 1 for us 2 years ago. They just do stuff like that. So,
which was a nightmare. Oh, my God.
So Connor Williams is probably going to be left guard and Leo Collins is right tackle. But I'm willing to bet you $25 to a donut if anything happens to Leo Collins. Operation 2020 O-line goes into effect immediately. They're going to put Connor Williams at right tackle.
He's too late.
And they're going to put
here.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, man, we gotta do a secret handshake.
Slow clap.
We gotta do a secret handshake.
Slow clap. Slow clap for the daddy.
He was pissed off on the phone.
What's wrong? E2.
I know you heard about it, right?
Heard about
Heard
what?
about what?
All that traffic.
The traffic,
495 earlier today when somebody died.
No.
Yeah,
Oh, thoughts and
Whole
prayers.
front end of the
Thoughts and
car
prayers
engine
for.
was
Thoughts and prayers, condolences to
Yeah.
the family.
Well, glad you made. If I known that, I would have told you not to worry about. I was just.
But
I
you don't
was-
check your
This is what
phone.
happened. I was in traffic for 3.5 hours. I didn't get home till 7:40. So then I had to go home, get my work clothes off, change, hop right back in the car.
You ain't
got
gotta talk to him like that though.
Okay, all right. So he has an excuse.
And get your stuff.
But he brought the
And I live
stuff.
like 5 minutes
I
away.
just
How
want
we
to
going?
for
And
a
I
rubber
got
coat.
5 minutes.
And he
Do
brought
not,
two
do
cases.
not touch the far right wings. Touch the far left wings.
We know what happened
yeah,
the last
those-
time
those
you
are
had
extra
the
hot.
hot wings.
said
Okay,
the
so
far what?
everybody, we have the gang all here. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying our live stream. We got E2Blu. Everybody, congratulate the man. How is it being a daddy?
Hey, Papa.
E2,
I won't
how is
feel
it being a
like
father?
It's really no difference because when you have a newborn, it's like they can't talk to you. They can't really. It's,
Well,
it's
here,
really.
let
it's
me
what you want me to say?
let me tell you.
No, what I'm saying is,
That's what I'm saying.
ask me. What I'm saying is, ask me when he gets like 6 months,
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what.
because he
In
just turned a month.
In
yesterday.
28 years, you'll have this.
I know.
Or 25, 25, 26, you have this.
Don't point at me, man.
I hope I
So-
We
don't
don't
have
care.
We have E2Blu.
Hey man, we don't care.
We have
Don't point at me. We don't care.
We have
of all,
the
first of all,
Mouth that
come here.
Roars Buzz, Michael Anthony Fitness,
boy.
and myself, Mark Holmes here.
My boy. Hey,
Um,
so this is the first time y'all see me with my haircut too.
This is the
know,
first time
I
we've
was
seen you
thinking-
since
Yeah.
you've become a father too. So we got to go out and smoke a cigar.
Yeah, I brought some too.
I was gonna say because I the way you've messed up my Cuban cigar last time, I'm like, yo,
No. I cut it too low last time, and
Yeah,
it
you
started
listen.
unraveling.
I ain't got that many of those Cuban cigars.
First of all, I got.
Hey, I had the super buzz on that thing out there.
There's some good
Yeah,
cigars.
it was.
But I brought.
dipped in Henny. That's what it was.
Okay, so all right, so you still believe then Connor Williams a guard,
Smell it?
Lyle Collins a tackle.
That's probably what's gonna happen. But if anything happens with Leo Collins, if he get into an accident, if he wreck his Lamborghini, if he cuss a coach out,
Gets a hangnail.
if his pinky finger hurt a little bit, I think Conor McGovern's gonna go to left guard. Connor Williams gonna go to right tackle.
I'm gonna try to get.
All right,
As we wait.
I'm gonna play conspiracy
I just don't
theorist
want
here.
money. I just don't.
Hey man, we doing a show here.
Yeah,
What's wrong with y'all?
it's football talk or no talk.
That's how you talk to him.
All right,
Hey John, that's how you talk to him.
I'm gonna ask.
Daddy voice?
That's how you talk to him.
I'm gonna ask this one other question about Lyle Collins because we ended up having Paul Alexander, Mr. Ketchup Bottle, I like to call him, Mr. Heinz 57, who tried to do more of a zone blocking system. And with Lyle Collins going from guard to tackle and everything else, could some of that stuff have stunted his growth and that maybe being under Marco Colombo, for the second half of the season and this part of the season, that maybe he'll improve some?
I think about this a lot, and I think what the hell? Who cut that? I
Who's
think
that
about
baby you're listening to? Oh,
I think about this a lot. Shouts out to Cowboys Experience. I got a chance to talk to Joe Luna. That's on my channel as well. I'm getting all the plugs in. I talked to Joe Luna. I said, Joe, what's really different, man? I even put down the camera and fake like I turned the live stream on, but I left it on. You know what I'm saying? But I left it on and lied to him. I say, Joe, what's really different? And he was just like the temperament basically. They just didn't want to play for Paul. They wanted to play for Mark. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm watching the film. I'm a former offensive lineman. I see Lael and I see his peers. I see the other 4 guys, and I'm thinking that if I was an offensive lineman and I changed coaches in the middle of the season, I still win and lose the same battles that I won and lost in the second half of the season. I don't see much change there. You know what I'm saying? Because you go back to what you know. You know what I'm saying? Because if all else fails, you go back to what you know.
You know what the big difference is?
What's
When
that?
Paul Alexander came in, he changed the whole philosophy.
yeah,
of
you
what
went
he
to
was doing.
zone blocking scheme.
He was asking them to do different things.
Right.
But we
And when you get somebody like,
Mark still a
Colombo-
zone blocking team.
Mark Colombo did what Hudson House did.
We always been a zone blocking team, but we still a zone blocking
Right.
team.
But what he asked them to do was different. It's not saying
He
that
asked him to
like
catch contact.
right,
instead of-
right.
And I'm gonna have to
And
go
some
back
of
and
the
look
guys,
at it.
and look at some of the guys, like, especially with Connor, like, with him coming and learning, that was really like messed up for him. And then you look at Tyron Smith with his injuries,
TGK,
then you
I'm gonna
had-
get to your
you had
question.
Connor right next to him as a rookie. He's used to having a veteran right next to him, like when Leary was there, things of that nature. So you plug him in, and he has to get used to somebody else that he's not as comfortable.
What's your poison?
Whatever, man.
You want hard stuff or you want a mic?
Hard, man.
I think
Rum?
I think
Vodka,
this whole
tequila?
thing.
I'll take some hard stuff.
I think this whole thing came down.
But you get what I'm
Shut
saying.
up, drink your
You get
mics,
what I'm
man.
saying, though.
I feel
Because
you.
he's used to having that veteran right next to
I
him.
feel you.
So he
What-
knows what that guy's gonna do.
What I think it is, I think it came down to politics. I think it came down to
On the rocks
politics
or
and
Yeah.
like yo, we have a reason to
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had it on there.
like we have a reason to hate on Paul now. You know what I'm saying? Like we got a new coach. Like let's just
Mr. Ketchup.
let's just politic our way in the. I just think that they play bad.
Yeah.
Just me as offense. I'm watching Lael Collins miss with his hand, and they like Lael
Yeah,
doing
you
the
look-
same shit Tyron doing.
Now
They-
but you can see how much Travis Frederick means to this offensive line.
Well, sure. But what I'm saying is like they doing the same techniques I've been seeing them doing. I just think that they just played a bad game. I think they playing bad seasons. I think they just had a bad season. Cooper helped. There's less people in the box.
Yeah.
So running the ball look easier.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Pass setting look easier when you blitzing less people.
Well, you know, when a defense realizes that y'all just gonna go by committee, I don't fear anybody on your outside. So, but look at this year, you got Randall Cobb there now too, and you got a guy that not only can play the slot. First of all, you got 5 of your receivers right now that can play all of the spots.
Sure.
That's huge.
Somebody getting cut.
And everybody talking about Allen Hurns and talking about like they don't want him on his team. Dude is an asset in my opinion.
You might need him.
You might. And what
You
I'm
may
saying is, if he comes back in training camp and starts beasting, oh, that's your 5th receiver right there.
Yeah,
Sure.
And that's your
Austin's
fifth,
gonna be
Allen
the
Hurns.
Yes.
odd man.
And
out.
your 5th is good. So
Austin.
defenses. Let me tell you something. Zeke gonna get some yards this year
I tell
Yeah,
y'all
because
what.
he got suspended.
they can't cloud that box, man, because you never know what we're gonna do. And I feel like with Kellen Moore at the helm, I
Yeah.
think that the pre-snap reads and all the stuff that they doing motion,
Yeah.
pre-snap motion, bruh.
So I've been doing this on my
Defense
show.
gonna be confused.
So I've been doing this on my show the past few weeks or so, and it's the same topic, but it's interesting because everybody got different views on it. I think it's 3 units where shit gets really weird, and we're gonna have to cut somebody that we really like.
Yeah.
O
I
line,
hate to
D
do that,
line, wide receiver. So I think so let's just go wide receiver right now. I think the first 3 receivers are set. I think what the hell is Mark doing
I need to stand.
while I'm working? What is Mark doing while I'm working?
no.
Getting him views. His 274 people.
70. Yeah.
It's 274 people. I'm working.
Let the man work.
Thank you, Mike.
Oh, my numbers are down with you on here.
Shit. Shit. They ain't that shit. We waiting. We waiting on them to tune in.
Damn.
So,
Tell them how you really feel.
so listen.
Oh,
So
baby.
listen. Wide
Oh,
receivers,
baby.
right?
They kick a brother in the ding ding, right?
Okay. I'll just be quiet. Let's see
No,
how
no,
this
go
works. Let's see how this works. Watch him beg me to talk.
Watch that. Now,
Please beg me to talk.
Please, Mr.
shout out to everybody who's tuning in. We're here in the Man Cave actually getting together with a pre-training camp live
Oh,
stream.
Rasheed's like, no one invited me.
Oh, you sick, ain't you, dog?
Right, I thought
Nah,
is he alright?
We
No,
ain't
no.
trying to get cooties now.
no, he's good.
No, but look, Law Nation was like, damn, I didn't get invited. It's like, well, you coming out of Texas or what?
We all got to travel and shit. Y'all
Yeah,
gotta
right.
come
You
out this
got,
month.
yeah, but listen, it's worth. Is it worth the trip to come here?
I mean, it's all right. Shit.
It's all right.
I was at, hold on. I
Hey,
was actually.
I thought I was missing
Oh,
shrimp.
you know
Hey,
what?
We'll get you on
You know
next
what?
one, Rasheed.
This is Mom House. Get
So,
the
next
fight.
Let me say something. I was actually looking forward to this because, again, I ain't seen y'all in a while.
I know, man.
Really since the season ended.
And you've been going through that 6 weeks of your wife having after having the baby, and the hormones are just jumping up and down like crazy and all
I
that.
just dismiss it.
More think you know everything.
I've been around now.
More think you know everything.
I tell you one thing.
I've been around.
Last time I saw him was what, draft?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the last time I saw you.
Yeah, when you knocked the whole screen over,
No, that
the
was
TV.
That was
Don't
draft.
talk to my homie like that. Like this your house, sure, but don't talk to my homie like that. Nah, Mark. Mark can hit me. Anyway,
I'm ignoring you.
anyway,
But look,
Hey,
wide receivers.
Hey,
Wide
hold on. Let
receivers.
me say something. Hey, Victor, dismiss yourself real quick. Just real quick. Just dismiss yourself.
Who's Victor?
Because you know I'm not gonna do that.
I'm gonna serve.
We already had this conversation. Didn't you already say that you weren't gonna do that, bro? Stop it, chill.
Uh-oh.
He banged my
You already know.
Victor Jimenez?
All right. Okay, so back to let's get back to football talk here.
I've been trying to
And
talk
I'm
wide
trying
receivers 20
to
minutes.
understand
Oh, go ahead.
why I got
No,
this
finish your
big
statement,
water
though, because-
jug up here on my counter.
No, finish your statement though, because I had to piggyback on that.
Okay.
So listen, wide receiver.
No, I want to go back to the offensive line here because this is key.
You was upstairs when we wrapped up offensive line.
I'm trying to be the host with the most, okay? He wanted to go ahead and have an ice cold beverage, tasty beverage, so I had to go get him some ice. Huh?
You see how this works, Mike? I mean, not Mike. Shit, John. You see how this works? Go ahead, Mike.
I slaved over a hot deep fry for you.
Congratulations.
You know,
go ahead, Mark. This your show. You right. You know what, Mark? To be fair, like if I had you on my show and you try to take over, I wouldn't let you do it. Go ahead, Mark. You right.
No, it's okay. You know, it's okay because it's not like I won't make another video tonight after you guys leave.
When we leave, it's gonna be fire talk with Mark Holmes. In the bed with Mark Holmes.
Chicken pow wow.
Breakfast with Mark Holmes. I mean,
the only thing you haven't done is one on the toilet.
He did one on Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
He did in Puerto Rico.
I wasn't using it. I was just sitting on it.
He gonna be in the tub with a wine glass. Go ahead, Mark.
Okay.
Go ahead, man.
No, okay, but I just don't want to leave the offensive line here. Okay, so hypothetically, we got Lyle Collins, we've got Connor Williams, who's mad because he wants to be tackle. We got Travis Frederick, hopefully back at his Pro Bowl self. We got Zach Martin, huh?
He mad? Connor Williams back there won't be tackle?
No, he really wants to play tackle though, because he knows that's what bigger money is.
Oh, okay.
But he's basically saying, I want to play tackle. Okay, you've got Zach Martin now on two good legs. You got Tyron Smith, of course, who for the first time in a couple of years has been healthy going the offseason and not needing work. Pass protection-wise, I think we ranked out at 18th.
Pass protection?
Pass protection, pass blocking.
We gave up the second most sacks, so, I mean, is that a PFF number? Because
I think that's what they came out this week.
I don't listen to PFF.
I think they said third in running the football, 18th in pass protection.
We gave up 58 sacks. There's no way it was 18.
I'm just saying that's what they came up with. But,
there's like nobody standing right there.
That's what happens.
That's the ghost.
It's a ghost.
Yo, Mark.
I'm leaving.
Jobu's mad.
Who lived here before you?
I don't know.
But you got some juju up in there.
No, that was Michael running up the steps, and so the steps vibrate. Okay. Hopefully the glass didn't break over there.
I'm about to say,
now the red brick house, that's a different story though.
Yeah, when you did them videos, I
did you do? No. I did one where I put a new window in.
Oh, it fell over.
And I was talking. No, seriously. And I had.
It wasn't
unfortunately,
windy.
it's on my other channel.
It wasn't windy.
But it was crazy because I put the window in, right? And I was talking about the history of the house. And I said, there's a cemetery that's, right, that's on the other side over there. That there's Revolutionary War soldiers and Civil War soldiers, and that's when the window just went. Eep.
I don't want this here. I don't want this here. Why is this here?
Oh, it's Cowboys.
Okay, so it was an old Redskin.
No. Remember what we found in the house?
What?
We found a poster that was Dallas Cowboy Pepsi.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we did an old Pepsi, like 1970s Cowboys.
I know which one.
And be like, put a star on.
But all right, so whether it's you say 30th or 18th, do we think that offensive line, now that we also have better wide receivers, have a possession tight end in Jason Witten, that we will end up taking a big leap forward on the offensive line? Are we better than where we were last year?
I think so. Just by Travis Frederick alone, we're better. Just by that alone, we're better.
It's literally adding a Pro Bowl player. But you're saying that Joe Looney only gave up a half a sack? Is that what you said?
A third of a sack.
A third of a sack.
But the difference there is when you look at Travis
the
Frederick,
general.
Exactly, leadership.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
because he was still running things on the sidelines.
Yeah, so Joe Looney might have gave up a third of a sack, but is he commanding the same calls at the line?
Excuse me 1 second.
Frederick?
Connecticut Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? There you go. That's how you get it. Okay.
But I mean, is
got to take care of the fans.
Mark's drunk.
No,
I feel John, like in terms of pass blocking, Joe was very serviceable. Mm-hmm. And there's a whole topic that I could get into that Joe may not make the team next year, but that's a whole other topic.
Well, but here's okay.
But you missed Travis more so in the run game. Mm-hmm. More so calling front, seeing blitzes prior to blitz happening. Movement. When we played the Rams and Dominican Sue really picked Joe Looney up.
He did.
Placed him aside, then tackle Zeke.
Right.
That wouldn't happen to Travis.
All right.
So we're looking at a positive on the offensive line. Okay, so you are on to wide receivers then next. All right. So before we go ahead and talk about Randall Cobb and all that, we listened to, or you didn't hear it while we were doing it, but ESPN talking about Amari Cooper wanting basically $18 to $20 million. They're saying
He didn't even say that.
No, I know. Okay, but I'm just going by Marcus Spears now has the ESPN Dallas Cowboys stank on him. Anybody that gets hired by the talking heads immediately has to be a Dallas Cowboy head.
Clickbait.
Okay, it's kind of like when you are the coach and you got your kids, you're harder on them than you are on everybody else, right? Mm-hmm. Because you can't show favoritism. So he's literally trashing Dak. He's trashing Amari Cooper. So they're saying that we should pay Amari Cooper $15 million. Is that even realistic in this day and age?
At least 16.
Okay. When what's his
Well,
name?
he's making 13.9 right now.
Right now,
on his 5th year.
they're
16.
saying, "Oh, well, he's not Odell Beckham." You thank God he's not Odell Beckham, because I look at Odell Beckham and say, he's not making it through the seasons, and he is making as many negative plays as he is positive plays. When you think about the Giants, they're actually like, we're glad we got rid of this guy because you didn't win anything with him. I'm just saying.
A horse though, Mike.
Huh?
Mark Beckham a horse. You win the game.
He's a horse, but how many games has he? Okay, he lets.
His quarterback was trash.
His quarterback was trash too. But how about let's just take Josh Norman and him. He was beating Josh Norman all damn day, but he let Josh Norman get into his head and ended up going after them. And instead of making wide open touchdown receptions, he's getting 15-yard penalties for going after the guy. His immaturity hurts him. And I'm going to tell you, when he gets to Cleveland, there's only so many balls to go around in there. And when things happen like, it's the sophomore slump for your quarterback, and it's Cleveland and it's cold and it's not like New York nightlife, he's going to go ahead and be a distraction like he's always been.
Mark.
But
Odell Beckham is a stud, Mark.
If he can stay on the field. Carson
Trash,
Wentz is an MVP if he can stay on the field.
I actually think that the Browns was a match made in heaven for him.
You're going to see Baker. You're going to see Baker get him the damn ball.
We'll revisit this during the season. We'll revisit this then during the season. But okay, all right. So Amari Cooper, to me, the Cowboys would be advantageous to hurry up and get his deal done and Dak Prescott, because we know Julio Jones is looking at about 20, or before we heard that Michael Thompson is looking for 22.
Michael Thompson, ignorant as hell.
He is.
And that number going to be down to 19 quick, fast.
Well, we would hope that his is down to 19. We better hope that he doesn't get that 22.
Michael Thomas got drafted in 20. He got drafted with Zeke, right?
I believe so, yeah.
So he ain't got to get paid this year necessarily? I would like to see.
Josh T, thank you very much.
I would like to see.
Josh T, thank you very much for the super chat. Chat.
I would like to see what Michael Thomas looks like with Teddy Bridgewater throwing the football.
That's a really good
point.
Just a thought.
Yeah, because think about it this way,
Just
right?
a thought.
Like, remember Jimmy Graham?
Jimmy Graham,
even though he was a tight end, kind of served that kind of same role as a big guy that Drew Brees got the ball to. Mm-hmm. What's Jimmy Graham doing right now? Because they line him up wide.
Yeah,
a lot of the same thing. He ain't doing
Jimmy Graham ain't.
He with Aaron Rodgers, and he ain't doing nothing.
Quarterbacks 100% matter. I was watching an old YouTube video. It was the Cowboys versus the Broncos when Peyton Manning was on his last 5,000-yard season. And I was like, damn, Julian Thomas was good for like a season.
He was.
Yeah.
And then when Peyton Manning got bad, Julian Thomas got bad. He never made no more money ever again.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Michael Thomas is bad because he's a fantastic route runner. He has pretty good hands, but he's not explosive like some of these other guys. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And Drew Brees does a good job of fitting passes into him. And if he catches them,
they've got a great system.
If he catches them, he catches them. But I would love to see what Teddy Bridgewater would do.
Okay. All right. So, what do you think he is actually worth? Because I look at him at 25, and let's be honest. If he had not came, we'd be looking at a totally different Dallas Cowboys team, because I think it would have ended up being we continue to go downhill and the team would have been blown up. Maybe Jason Garrett's gone. Maybe you have questions on whether or not Dak Prescott is the guy. And we know Scott Linehan would have been out the window.
Sure.
So you looked at how Dak Prescott's numbers, completion percentage, first half of the season, I think he averaged about 205 yards. Oh, excuse me. Was it 205? Yeah, about 205 yards a game passing, and ended up the second half with about 253. So when you talk about a 53-yard bump up in statistics, you look at another 10% in completion percentage.
Sure.
That was a team changer. You went from 3-5 to 7-2, including playoffs.
Yeah. Two things. I'm really big on like formula. you know.
Mm-hmm.
And Amari Cooper by himself, I mean, maybe not. Like Cooper by himself is probably gonna be Cooper and the Raiders or whatever. Like he'll be that guy.
He checked
but
out.
Cooper here with Dak, with Zeke, with these guys is part of the formula.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So whatever his going rate is, you just gotta do what you gotta do.
I tell you, I like your when you said that earlier when we were on my man DMV. Check out his channel. Definitely like and subscribe it. My man, looking kind of sad, man. I'm sorry, man. Come on, can I get a?
Because he don't like traffic. He don't
Just a little smile. That DMV traffic.
I'll tell you what,
just
I
look-
wouldn't
you
let
just
Mark
look
touch
bad
my
as
face
Watch
like
the
that.
Redskins. You just look.
I wouldn't let Mark touch my face
Hardcore,
like
man.
that.
I'm just funny looking like that. My face is my resting face is real kind of bitchy.
Yeah, I saw
You are in fact funny.
You got a resting bitch.
I am funny looking.
You are in fact.
Okay. But
I'm not that attractive. Oh, but you know what's funny though? Ever since I could not to be off.
I thought you were about to talk shit to me. Go ahead.
But real quick, no.
Go ahead.
No, well, we can have a roasting contest.
I don't want to because you're my friend. Because you're my friend.
I love you though.
You
But
my
we can
friend.
do it. We
Go
can
ahead.
do it because you know what I'm saying. I got jokes. But anyway, ever since I cut my locks off, I swear to God, like I've been stopped at least once a day. Somebody tell me I look like Mike Tomlin.
you do. You really
Without
do.
the locks, you do.
Yo,
You do.
yo, today, matter of fact, I was out doing work.
Thank
Yo.
God, what you doing
I
down
was
in the
out here-
DMV
I
area?
was out here in
Okay.
Virginia
Me
doing
too.
work today. I was out in Woodbridge.
Yo.
I was in Woodbridge today. So I went to Wawa or whatever. They put some gas in my work truck. So I'm in line about to get an energy drink. So I'm standing there, and this dude comes in line behind me. And you know, this old cat, like that old uncle at the barbecue. Hey, what's going on?
Come here, Bo. Let me say something to you.
Flirting with all the little cousins he ain't supposed to be flirting with.
Come on, Bo.
So that guy. So he's standing there, and I'm sitting. He's just staring at me. You know how you can tell somebody's staring at you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I look over. He like, hey man, I thought you was Mike Tomlin, man.
He did not think you was my
No,
type.
bro. He was like, I was over here by the cookies and the donuts, and I just looked up and I seen you. I said, bro, I know Mike Tomlin now. What are you doing out here, man? You're supposed to, because I was about to say, bro, you're supposed to be in Pittsburgh, bro. I said, you know, it is the off season. So if I was him,
That man a
been.
stalker. He didn't think you was.
he
my
was like,
type.
I'm about to ask you for your autograph, my dude. I
Oh,
was like,
He thought you was a dude that looked like Mike Tomlin.
And I had a hat
Okay,
on, my
Mike
work hat
Tomlin.
on too.
All right. Well,
So
okay. I got my boy Richard is actually going to be at Steelers training
That's what I'm
camp.
gonna be. That's what
I'll
I'm
never let Mark
Halloween.
cut me off.
I was Mike Tomlin.
I'm gonna be Mike Tomlin. I'm gonna be Mike Tomlin for Halloween.
I'll never let Mark cut me off like that. I'll never do that.
Why you always come on my show acting up?
I wouldn't allow it.
God damn it, Voch.
What's the next topic, host? Damn, man.
You know what, Voch?
Wow.
It really doesn't matter.
I'll never do this on my show.
Hold on. It's a taste of your own medicine.
I'll never do this on my show.
It really doesn't matter what you think, Voch. No.
My show is way more.
Okay, all right, so it's out of control here, so, maybe we need to put the kiddies to bed, all right? But anyway, all right, so back to Amari Cooper. To me, what you said earlier today about it being a formula, okay, because a lot of people say, well, Dak Prescott's the bus driver, well, whatever. Sure. If he's driving the bus, I like the way the bus is being driven because it's leading to victories, and that's the bottom line in the NFL. Yeah. I don't care if we end up throwing for 125 yards and running the football, as long as we get a W, can make it to the playoffs and win, that's the bottom line.
You look at that touchdown percentage. Literally, one more touchdown.
Red zone.
12-4.
Red zone.
One more
and
touchdown.
turnovers. The two things that we can improve.
12-4.
Or better. That's the thing. We just do not get takeaways.
But I think the red
but
zone's
we'll
gonna
get
be
to the
much
defense in a bit.
Because you see they're starting to do things with Jameis Olawale too. Watch out for that.
I wish he would just go.
Dude, the dude has skills. They're just not using him.
This is my problem with Jameis.
When I did my video on
Uh-oh, he got a problem with him.
This is my problem with Jameis. When we get down to 48 people on the roster, we're going to have a conversation with each other. Mark E2, John, Mike, would you rather keep Joe Johnson at the end, or would you rather have Jameis Olawale?
Depends on who you playing.
It's
gonna vary.
It doesn't matter.
No, this shit does matter.
I keep the young D end over the fullback that I barely use every single time.
But again, Kellen is gonna use him.
Yeah.
But Kellen got other people that he gonna use.
He gonna use
Here's my question.
Okay, your question.
My question.
Pick your goddamn poison.
Let John talk.
Yeah. So, all right. So who's the number one fullback that we've all time had? Moose Johnson, right?
Yeah.
So how many times do you remember us lining up in the I formation on the goal line, just saying, Emmett, give Emmett the ball out of the I formation, and we're gonna score a touchdown? Can we line up in the I formation, goal lines or whatever?
You know they're gonna do that.
And smash in the mouth.
Who's the other fullback? I'm sorry. The other fullback. Okay, the other fullback. Wait. The other fullback that we signed, I can't remember his name right now. We just signed him recently.
I did a video.
White guy.
He's a white guy, but to me, you know.
Juracek.
Yeah, Juracek.
Ryan Juracek.
And looking at him, he looks more like a tight end. He's about 6'3" or so. And could it be that we end up doing that kind of H-back, that kind of hybrid fullback, tight end?
Why do we need that when we got Jason?
I'm just
Witten?
but I'm just.
We got Jason Witten.
But you got to look at it like this: are we gonna keep 4 tight ends or 3?
Boy, look,
Well,
this is gonna happen, boy.
Is Rico gonna make the team or not?
Kellen Moore gonna spread that shit out.
Is Cody McElroy gonna make?
Well,
the team
that's
or
another question.
Kellen Moore gonna spread
That's
that shit
another
out.
question that I actually have
We
too.
had Jason Witten do that role, have we not? Had him rotate into the backfield.
Insert
But I swear,
Exactly.
looking at highlight,
Why do
I'm
we
telling
need a
you.
fullback?
But I'm telling you though, looking at him, he looks more like a
You know
tight
why?
end than a
Because
fullback.
Jason Garrett
Because
always
he
has
catch.
played with a fullback. That's just, and they signed him for 3
But did
years.
you see how many catches that guy had in college?
I know.
I'm like, he had
They
like
can
40 some
definitely
yards
utilize that.
running the
I would
football,
put
but
him
he
at
had
least-
like
I
600
would have him
receiving.
at least on the practice squad this year and figure out what you're gonna do, because I'm telling you,
I think.
sky's the limit, bro. But you only got 53 spots.
I think once Kellen Moore really get acclimated, this shit gonna turn to track meets.
Let me tell you something.
Ain't gonna be no fullback.
Well, let me give a shout out to all.
Everybody gonna be fast.
We're forgetting that we got
it's
fans
gonna-
out here. Okay,
Bro,
shout
you see
out
where I'm going?
Miss
Bunch of tape on
Jackie,
Austin.
Boomer Sooner, Charles Grant, Quest Cowboys, Robbie Radford,
They don't know that.
my
They don't know
Cowboys
about that.
family,
They don't know about that.
the U, that's a new one. Shout out to you guys, Victor. I hope you're not acting up.
Is that Michael Jackson?
Anita
he
Taylor,
did.
how you
I
doing?
shut his ass down right there.
We're hanging out here in the man cave and stuff, kind of getting everything ready. You know, this is kind of like preseason for us to make sure that we're ready. You see my man E2Blu. How are the wings, man? I know they're cold because it's been a while. That
It
I
don't even matter. The wings so good. The cold, hot.
Now,
I don't give a damn.
So listen,
Go ahead.
This is my thing,
good.
and this what made me say this about Jameis though. And they say, Voch Lombardi, you the new OC. Come on up in. I said, oh shit, Voch Lombardi. This is what we want you to do. We want you to run the offense. How you gonna run the offense? Kind of stick to Jason Garrett's platform, but do what you want to do with it. Order of importance: Zeke, Coop, Cobb, Dak's legs, Gallup, Witten. We gonna get Tony Pollard. Jameis way the hell down here somewhere.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I see your point.
It's
I
a
see your
fact.
point.
Defensive ends are way more important. We're going to have this conversation. Guys like Kerry Hyder, guys like Joe Jackson, guys like Taco and Dorrance Armstrong, we're going to have this conversation. Guys like Donovan Alumba,
Yeah.
we're going to have this conversation.
This is true because we
Kerry
have a
Hyder?
lot of great players. He's a guy who's trying to get back to his
Kerry
2016 form.
Kerry Hyder,
Kerry
both
Hyder.
Kerry Hyder and Christian Covington are going to be the X factors on this defensive line.
Christian or Chris Covington?
Christian.
Chris Covington might
Chris is
beat
the linebacker.
Christian might beat Antoine out.
Yeah.
So we're going to have
And that's
yes, sir.
yes.
Yes, sir.
That's how. And see, that's the thing that's crazy because
It's gonna be
we
fun.
have
That's enough,
listen.
but I'm not
We have some
disagreeing.
guys that are going
I'm
to
just
get
saying that's
cut.
just conversation.
It's just interesting.
Yeah.
We're going to have to look ourselves in the mirror. We're going to get that white marker board. We're going to go, damn, Jameis, I love to have you, boy.
We can break it down right now.
But I
Let's get the X's
value
and O's.
young defensive
Get the board
ends.
right now. We get the X's and
But
O's
listen,
right
I
now.
value young
Okay.
defensive ends. I value depth at corner.
We have to take care of some business real quick.
I
Go ahead.
value linebackers because something may happen with my first 3 linebackers. I ain't got time
And
to
that-
hold. I ain't got time to hold a fullback that I might not use.
The only thing that will keep him on this roster is
Jameis?
special teams.
Jameis? Jameis
It's
better
more on
get
special teams.
Brian
Yeah,
Chocal,
yeah,
thank you very
Jameis
much for the
better get
super
some
chat.
dirt on somebody. Jameis.
But I'm
They didn't
saying.
give him an opportunity, bro. It's just like with our young tight ends.
But that was
If
last
you
year.
don't get
This
the opportunity
year,
to
it's a
play,
different
bro,
roster right now.
you can't
Different roster this
prove
year.
what you can do.
We
if you
gave
don't get the damn opportunity.
we gave Jameis an opportunity, and this is what he did.
No, hold on.
In the end zone.
That's an aberration.
In the end zone.
I'm gonna tell you why it's an aberration.
I know her.
Because that play was rushed. Look at it.
I know aberration.
Hold on.
I gave her a lot of ones.
Okay,
Hold
so
on.
They gave him a lot of
That play was an aberration. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Because go back and look at the tape on that play.
Sure.
It was rushed as hell.
Sure.
Motherfucker, Linehan was like, all right, this is what we're gonna do.
Sure.
Go ahead and give it to that Bam on the goal
Sure.
line.
But let me tell you what else I saw.
ready
He's
for it.
wide open, dog. You gotta catch that. I don't care what
it was in it.
But look at where he was. He turned around and was like, oh damn, I done.
Yo, he's a.
Hey, look, you
I'm
say.
not gonna hold that against him too much.
Hey, look.
Let me
Oh, my
see.
leg.
okay.
Hey, look.
Oh my God, my
Hey,
leg.
guys,
Oh
we're gonna
Jesus. Oh,
We're gonna
Carol.
go for a quick break,
Damn it,
and
Carol.
we'll be right back.
E2, you saying he was on
burning up the grill. We just met. Rob and his wonderful girlfriend. They came all the way from Virginia Beach. My man came from Newport. But how's the taste? We have Scooter Magruder. How are we doing today?
Cowboys Nation is live, and in fact, we are out here about to get the W.
Okay. You heard it from Scooter Magruder. So tell us the three.
Definitely, guys, if you end up wanting to join us, the Giant game week 1, we will be in Dallas. And if you get in touch with Cowboys Experience, they're working on getting a block of tickets so that way we'll all be sitting together. I know Miss Jackie's going to be there. I know Sarah's going to be there. I know Michael Anthony Fitness, Rasheed, the stinking New York Giant fan. My man Clarence missing the action, and hopefully you guys will be there as well. And week 2, we're going to be doing the tailgate to end all tailgates. In fact, I'm having a meeting with my man Barry. We've got 8 parking spaces. We are going to throw down, so definitely go to cowboysexperience.com and talk to my man Barry. Tell them Jobu Sports Report sent you. Now we're going to go back to the gang over here, who are definitely live and going off.
Oh, shout out to my car though. Bought myself some.
Shout out to your car. What the heck?
It's 22.
Boy, my jump's sitting right now. I'm looking like
You might want to move to Texas.
I'm looking like white boy. Was it?
I'm trying to move to Texas.
You better than me. I'd have bought a rifle.
I have one.
All right, you guys are back on air here. Okay,
That's another conversation for another day. But anyway,
Yeah, East Coast cats, boy.
I'm
All right, so, but seriously though, I know you're going to be at the tailgate. I know you're going to be at the tailgate, and I know you're going to be at the tailgate.
I'm helping.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I'm a part of this heavily.
We are trying to get what?
What we gotta do is make sure that you meet us at Redskins training. I mean, at the,
I'm driving my car this
at
time.
the stadium. We'll give
There
you a
you
pass.
go.
We'll give you a pass.
Because I'm
We're going to be
loading
in
my
the
car,
red
whatever.
zone lot, which is
I'm
which is next door. It's not
Okay.
on the
I'm
left side
coming
of
here
it.
that morning.
Oh,
and
okay.
I will drive my car and whatever we need to pack up in that.
Don't pull a foot and be late.
And your 22.
No, just meet us at the stadium. Just meet us at the stadium. Just meet us at the stadium.
Okay, so
Hey, at least I do show up.
now, and
I'm
of
not going to
course,
sit here and let y'all talk about Foots. Foots is a friend of mine.
First of all,
you're right on too, but I talk about you too.
Foots been missing in action.
Foots is always, I'm coming, and never shows.
Foots my guy, though, man. Foots
Hey man, I love you.
you got
He's one of my
5 minutes
kids.
to get Foots on your
What's
show.
going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
Okay, so anyway, we're definitely going to be.
Oh,
It's only when y'all get him mad.
Oh,
Mr. Ed Oliver's on.
Ed's on here.
No, I'm different now, bro. I'm
Ed, I'll see you on 27th.
I'm talking about when you get Foot's mad.
At
Damn it,
Dallas
Carol.
Cowboy training camp.
Victor said
Damn it, Carol.
Victor said he gonna come if I don't kill him.
will
And
you
I said-
stop
I-
engaging?
No. I told him, I said, as long as Victor act right, he good. He ain't gotta worry about nothing.
Yeah, he's banned my
Stephanie,
channel.
definitely come on up, Stephanie. It's not that far down. I think you're around
Where's
Richmond or
Stephanie
something.
at? She in
Richmond.
Oh, that ain't far.
No,
2
no,
hour
no.
drive. Come on up.
Yeah. Definitely. Oh, believe me, we had a ball. I mean, we've had a ball. And
Damn right, Dave.
here's the good thing about what we did.
Yo,
What?
it was windy as I don't know what though, but
Well, it's September.
Yeah, this show gonna be
and it's a 1
bad.
o'clock game. It's warm. But here's what we did last year. We had a 50-inch TV out there, so we had a lot of people who came and said, I really don't want to go into that stadium because it sucks.
It does.
But you end up having the whole atmosphere, so you can actually just hang out and tailgate and eat, drink, watch the game and stuff. And when we kick the Redskins' ass, you can say bye-bye as they walk by.
Feedback.
There's feedback?
Something I learned: if one person says feedback, you good. If everybody says feedback, you need to go check it out.
Yeah, because it might just be feedback off of like bad connection.
Did you turn off that other thing that you were working on?
You end up having the whole atmosphere.
You sound solid on mine.
You still getting feedback?
You sound solid on my situation.
Sounds good over here.
Oh.
Hello.
Did you see that? Everybody saw that.
You talking about?
Well, too bad she work at the tailgate.
You talking about? You talking about this one?
She worked at the lot.
I know. Okay, so they don't know, but they don't know the joke. They don't know where the name.
This one.
No.
It wasn't that whoever that person is in the stream. It was literally a chick named Carol that worked at the Redskins Stadium, and we were there. Do I have to tell the story again?
I guess so.
You can tell
All right, so I'm
story.
gonna tell the story real quick. The last time we were at FedEx Field, the dumpster fire that is, we got there at 10 o'clock in the morning. We pull up. We waiting to get in. We're like 2 cars before they start letting us in the gate. There's this old dude standing there, and then there's a lady. And they take your ticket. They check your little ID or whatever when you come in. So she let a car pass her, like the first car pass her. Like she messed up off break. And the dude was like, I think his name was like Charles or something. He was like, hey, Carol, you didn't let the car go. Carol. God damn it, Carol. You had one job, Carol.
Bruh, ain't nothing worse than
hey, no, the way he said it, that's the way he said it. He pointed. Hey, Carol, God damn it. He looked so defeated. He was like, bro, I can't. You had one job, shawty. Like, that's all you had to do. All you had to do was
and we was waiting out there for like an hour.
We were.
For an hour. You had a whole hour to prepare.
You could have checked them before. You could have checked the first 5 cars.
Check and see if it.
Jump start. You didn't even have to wait till we.
Hopefully that took care of the feedback.
We were sitting right in front of
Carol was smoking that DC weed.
Bro, let me tell you something. She was that what they call in DC, the dipper.
I'm sorry, the what?
It's legal in DC.
So back in the day, it was
should have
a
taken
DC
care of
term
the
they called dipper, where you lace.
Let me know if that didn't take care of the feedback.
Which is like terrible.
What band had the dipper? Was it Backyard?
No, Stephanie, I never said she wasn't a person. You misunderstand what I'm saying. I was talking about where it first came from.
Junebug
was from an actual person at FedEx Field when we started saying, "Damn it, Carol." That's when.
But then she
that's
evolved.
where that.
As opposed to
that's
Carol.
where it came from.
Then it became like a troll.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't know. Then she came out of nowhere, and I didn't know. I thought it was a troll at first, so I didn't know.
Right. Hopefully
Actually, it was a troll.
that should have taken care of the feedback. If it didn't, let me know.
That's all it is.
Well, yeah.
Sorry.
MAF.
I know.
I thought you were leaving the show.
No.
Man, look, if I was in charge of this, boy, this.
No, I'm talent expression, dog. I create the comedy, so that's what happens.
Boy,
So
it's not gonna be so
we had to
shameless
take a
if I
break.
was in
We had to
charge.
take a time out.
Yeah, okay, exactly.
Yeah, so we back.
Why you come into my house always talking smack about what you were going to do or what you would do and things?
You want to know the good thing about it, Mark? If I didn't, I'd be fake. If I didn't, I'd be fake.
If y'all fight right now,
How you come into my house?
swear to God, if y'all start flipping bars,
Hey, some good news though.
I mean, you know,
Hey, some good news though. Mr. Ed Oliver
My
said
back
gonna
feel
be
fine.
there week 2. Ed
I
Oliver.
feel fine.
She got moved loud.
All right.
She got bad knees.
that lateral movement, that articular or something.
But if he comes straight at you,
I'm not gonna give you time to stretch, Mark.
Give me time to
I'm
stretch.
not gonna give you
Hold on,
time.
let me stretch this on.
Hold on now, youngster.
Hold on there, youngster.
Let me show you what we used to
wait.
do.
Right, back in the day when I
Give me
used to,
that
hold on.
Fred Sanford.
When I used to.
Nah.
Okay, let him talk so we get on track.
Okay. All right. So when we left off in this, again, I had to go ahead and take care of the plug for Cowboys experience stuff and remind people that it's not too early to start thinking about tailgate because we're trying to make that tailgate the bomb, the biggest tailgate of Cowboy
Hey,
fans.
Mr.
and fans.
And while you were doing that, we were actually talking about last year's tailgate and how fun it was, and even those of you that are not getting tickets to the game, it's actually more fun to be out at the tailgate because
Yeah, it is.
you get to see the different people come around, and even like the cool Redskin fans come around.
Yeah.
And then when the haters come through, because there's gonna be
Oh,
some drunk,
they'll be.
there's gonna be some drunk Redskin fans out there. So
Hey,
you know, we got to make sure that we're in drones so they don't.
And my buddy Ed Oliver's gonna be
Well, I'll
there
tell
too,
you what.
the YouTuber.
I'm actually
Sorry.
working on actually getting stuff together for that now. I actually it came today. It's actually a generator that uses my 60-volt batteries. That is quiet. It basically takes the 60-volt batteries and gives you full power. So I've got 8 hours of television time without having to listen to a generator. I'm looking at a 36-inch just hamburger grill. That's going to be fantastic. So we're going to be doing this thing right. We're going to have a ball there. So back to wide receivers. You're the Dallas Cowboys.
Man,
You got Amari Cooper who wants to get paid.
I'll tell you who I want.
Who you want?
Well, we can get into it. We're finished.
Okay. We're back to Amari Cooper. Does he get paid?
Yes.
Yeah, he should.
I mean, you
First
gave
of
up
all,
a number one pick
Don't
for him.
trade a number one draft pick for somebody and not resign. That's dumb.
Yeah, at least pay him 16.
Didn't
He's
the
got
Giants do
16.
that? The Giants? No,
Well, they did.
no, they
It was
they-
Odell.
No, they paid Beckham in the trade. Yeah, so
You know, they're still paying him. They're paying him $16 million
That's the
this year.
dumbest- That's the dumbest.
16 million they're paying.
Amari Cooper will be here for the next at least 5 years.
Yeah, and 25
First
years
of all,
later.
and
Okay,
Amari Cooper
well, let's put it this
already
way.
said-
We
already
saw
said-
what it was like without a number one receiver. Okay?
We got one now. To be honest with you, I even when Dez putting up his numbers the way he was, still never felt that he was a number one.
You know,
Amari is
It's because
a one.
you know what the biggest thing is the route running.
Yeah.
And see, Dez masked his ability to run route more so by
But
his
there's-
athleticism.
yeah.
And the
And
fact that he
once
was
he
able
got
to go
hurt-
up over everybody,
and
use
once he got
leverage
hurt,
to
he
get
didn't
that
have
ball.
it. He couldn't do it
Right.
anymore.
But I feel like everybody keeps talking about the whole bringing Dez back. We know that that's not going to happen. But in a perfect world, hypothetically, if he was on this team, look how monster this wide receiver core would be, though. If he's your fifth receiver,
He's not going to want to be a fifth
I don't know,
What I'm
bro.
saying is-
I've
what I'm
had the
saying-
Achilles injury. I don't know, like his athleticism.
but he
what
would be
kinda
your number
made
one,
him.
though. So you don't have to worry about that. You ain't got to worry about that.
He got a point.
Now,
You know what?
now,
But you
the
need your
only
fifth
issue,
receiver to be
is
doing-
how he feels as
Well,
far as getting the ball. Now, if Dez was mature enough to be like, man, I play part time. Well, knowing him, he loved the Cowboys so much he'll do whatever to get back on this team. But I feel like if he was mature enough, he got to the point where he was like, all right, I'll play a quarter of the plays. You just put me in the
I
red
want y'all to
zone.
know this
throw the
came all the
ball
way
up,
from Puerto Rico to
it
here.
will work. Oh, you brought that
I
back?
brought this one, yeah.
I don't know if you saw my channel, but I plugged the shit out of you when you was in Puerto Rico. I was like, yo, shout out to
Man,
Marcos
so
and
question
Michael,
hard.
doing good work. Every video I did, I mentioned you guys. So
Thank you.
go ahead, Johnson.
So, based on what you're saying, right? Let's say it's even.
that was just a hypothetical. We
Yeah.
don't have to.
No, because I'm just saying, like guys, and I'm thinking about like Cedric Wilson or guys like John Baer,
Oh, they gotta go.
making.
You can't count
Noah
them.
Brown on the
Some
bubble.
guys
Noah Brown got a
No,
hit issue.
I'm just saying, like I'm just naming
John
those
Baer.
guys. Those guys right now are young and they have not hit their ceiling.
Nope.
Where Dez is coming off an Achilles injury,
Mm-hmm.
and he's gonna cost you a little bit more money.
Yeah.
Why does that make sense?
It doesn't to me. Because to me, you can't go backwards. There's too much that's over the dam. I know that he's gotten a slice of humble pie and everything else, but I'm telling you, between Dak and Dez, they may be cool at the moment, but when Dak basically said, I got to throw him a perfect ball, I got to hit him in the face mask, which he did do, and it bounced off of it one time, that was basically him saying, I'm done with him. And I think the Cowboys recognized that and said, we're going to go with the quarterback because he's young. You can't just find a quarterback. Dez has not stayed healthy, and we're paying him $16 million a year. So, bye, Dez.
It's just bad timing for him.
It is, and I feel like I kind of wanted to see what Sanjay Lau could have done with Dez Bryant. Because even Cole Beasley said that, like, with Sanjay Lau being the wide receiver coach, they were able to do things that they didn't do before.
Cole Beasley bum ass go with the flow.
They went back with
Cole go with the flow.
They go Buffalo's facilities.
Whatever he doing,
Glad to be. I'm happy to be in Buffalo.
He didn't want to be Dallas Cowboys.
Hold on, let's see if he's saying that shit in December.
Buffalo
With snow up to here.
Cole could have went to Kansas City. What a barbecue out here
He could have went to the Patriots.
Anyway, he goes, he was gonna say something pro them.
Yeah.
Negative.
Hot sauce out the pro.
He's that vindictive ex-girlfriend.
Yeah. It's just like, let it go.
That just won't go away. And I'm like, why are you still talking to the media about the Dallas Cowboys? It doesn't matter. I would have muted that. I would have been like, look, I'm in Buffalo now. First of all, he's gonna get I said this in one of my videos. Cole Beasley's gonna get a culture shock when he comes back to the Dallas Cowboys for Thanksgiving. He's gonna walk in AT&T, and he's for the first time he's gonna be the enemy. For the first time, he's gonna walk into the visitor locker room. Hold on. And as soon as he walks into that damn locker room, he's gonna look in that locker room like, damn, I done fucked up. And at that point, he's gonna realize where he messed up. And he's gonna realize that the error of his ways.
Take your time.
And hold on. I'm gonna let you out. I know I'm gonna let you out. I'm gonna keep it short. I know it's a 1 o'clock game.
Tell your neighbor.
Neighbor.
Cole Beasley gonna go on that field. And he gonna get hit, and he gonna get hit hard, and guess what? He gonna get turkey. Oh my God! Thank you, Jesus. And he's gonna grab that ankle, and that thing gonna rip apart.
All right, moving right along there.
Like a Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Oh, like one of these wings?
Like one of them wings. It's gonna scoop.
Okay, Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb had hamstring issues. Do you think he is 100% healed? Do you think he's going to be fine? Do you think we're going to see a similar situation where Amari Cooper played so much better with Dak Prescott than he did with Derek Carr? Are we going to see that repeat with Dak Prescott and Randall Cobb? Because clearly Randall Cobb wanted to be here.
Hey, y'all know I'm a fool, right?
We know that. We know that.
That's
why we love you.
Yep.
Okay, so you think he's going to be fine. Michael Gallup, is he going to take a leap forward?
Okay, Mark, let me help you out. This your show.
Go ahead.
Fellas, let me ask y'all a question. Our top 3 guys locked in, they're not going nowhere. Coop, Gallup,
Cobb. We know they're not going anywhere.
They're not going nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to get tricky when we get to the 5th and 6th guy. It may be Brown. It may be Tavon possible.
Well, we already had this conversation.
Right.
If Tavon holds
we'll have it here right now.
One will be Tavon, and the other one will be Allen Hurns. So that's your 5 right there.
That's your 5.
Now you got to figure out, and they're going to keep 6.
So that's
because they're going to find one of these young guys that they really like.
So there's Noah Brown, Cedric Wilson, Lance Lenore, guys like that. Devin Smith. People keep telling me something about Devin Smith or whatever. Just Devin ain't gonna make it.
I'm holding.
Okay, he's holding.
So who gets pushed off a bridge though?
Okay. So where does Tony Pollard fit the equation? Because he's going to take because the ability that he has, he's going to take probably a wide receiver spot just off of that alone.
This is where we have the advantage with Tony is that we can label him as a running back because he is.
Yeah, he is.
But he's 100% going to be involved in the passing game. This is what makes it weird though. When you build a rosters, you don't want to have redundancies. You don't want to have the same kind of player.
Exactly.
Tavon Austin is the same kind of guy that Tony Pollard is. Tony's younger, cheaper, more durable. You know what I'm saying? So does Tony being here make it to where Tavon's not here to make another spot for guys like John Vay?
Well, I'm going to tell you, Tavon Austin must have been looking at your videos, bro. Because he been out there on them courts. He been out there with Dak Prescott. He been working his ass off trying to make sure that he make this roster. Because he sees the writing on the wall. He sees that they draft Tony Pollard. He sees that they draft Mike Weber. And he's looking at these young guys and he was like, Lord,
I need to be
I'm about to go ahead.
I need to be available.
You know what I'm saying? I need to be available. Because your best ability is your availability. Thank you, Jesus. Can I get an amen up in here?
Don't knock the TV over.
Everybody go ahead and pass around that collection plate via Super Chats to Mark Holmes, guys.
Send it to mine. But go ahead. That's a Vinyl Bar paper.
Well, see, here's what I love more than anything else is because there is so much competition almost every single location on this team.
Sure.
That you're going to have people that are fighting their playoff, their NFL lives to get on this team.
There you go, Mark.
Okay, I mean the thing I as much as I love like Des Bryant, Des knew I ain't going nowhere. So you know what? I can take. Well, no, okay, but generally speaking, I can kind of take it easy this week. These guys know, like you said, Lyle Collins to get a hangnail, he's gonna be gone. So that means he's going to be busting his ass to make sure that he's starting. He's going to put in that little extra bit of work. And as well as like Connor Williams, you know what? I'm trying to get there to tackle. Connor McGovern, he ain't looking to say, I'm just happy I got drafted by the Cowboys. He wants to play.
They working hard.
Okay, so all these guys are fighting because they want to be out there on that first Sunday to start this game and start their career growing. And that's on the defensive line. That's at running back. That's at wide receiver. There are so many guys that you're going to look at and say, I can't believe he got cut, that will be probably starting someplace sometime next year on other teams.
Yes, I.
Okay? So that's one of those things that you got to love because it's going to be basically a battle to the death, and you're going to have some people that are hungry to get on the field, and they're going to be worried about the guy behind them taking their spot.
I'm gonna tell you this: ever since Stephen Jones took over this team, you see the writing on the wall. You see the changes. It started with Dez Bryant.
It don't matter who.
Dez Bryant. They.
No, it started with DeMarco
Murray.
Murray.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
DeMarco Murray.
Thank you. You're right.
Okay, you
You're
can
right.
lead the league in running.
Hold on. You're right. You're right. Hold on.
You about to use that plane to fly to
I'm
Philly.
as a host, I'm going to give credit where credit is due as well because we both said DeMarco Murray.
I agree.
believe.
I forgot about him.
It just shows you where we are as a team and Cowboy fans, because I scream and fuss at all of them. We just got to learn that that's what it means to be a good team now. Because once upon a time, Lance Lenore was like, hey, man, Lance might make the team. He may be the sixth guy or something like that. There is no way Lance make the team now. There's no way. No way. It's way too stacked. Let me segue Jones real fast. Offensive line. We was on that earlier, talking about guys that we could keep, guys that we could let go. I was just talking about redundancies. You don't want to keep the same type of guy. Joe Looney, I know he just played 18 games for you last season. We just drafted Connor McGovern.
He did a good job, though.
Joe, he was serviceable. But he was your guard center guy. If anything happened to your center or your guard, Joe Looney's that guy. You got a brand new Connor McGovern now.
Yeah.
Offensive line is looking weird now. Because you got a guy in Mitch Hyatt who's an undrafted free agent that's not ready to play for you. He's not ready to play for you. But you can't put him on practice squad because he's too good. Somebody may take him from you. Cam Fleming is there. So Philo can go, in my opinion.
Okay.
But in my opinion, he's a better guard than Joe Looney. But Joe's a better center.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you don't know exactly how well Travis Frederick really is.
Sure. So we got to have that conversation as Cowboy fans that, yo, man, I love Joe Looney. But as far as business, as far as team building, we're going to take the emotion out. We always talk crazy about Jerry Jones, how he's so emotional with these players. We might have to let a guy like Joe Looney go because we got so much talent at that spot right now.
I don't think that, and I'm looking at the way they're looking at certain players, and I don't know. I don't think that they can let Joe Looney go.
Why not?
Because they like him.
We just liking him is cool. Liking him is cool. But we just drafted a young guy.
And he ain't did nothing to make you warrant.
Doesn't matter though.
Well, how many years he got left? 1 year?
That's cool. But we just drafted a young guy.
How long?
I think 2 years.
No.
They didn't give him 1 year.
That was Cam Fleming. Cam Fleming just got re-signed.
Yeah.
But we did too, didn't he?
No.
I think he's gone after next year.
We got this brand new cat.
Well, that depends on what McGovern does.
We got a brand new cat that's on our team cheap for 3 more years. Young, in my opinion, could be better than Joe Looney. We got to have that conversation. We got to have that conversation.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Can't get a goddamn word.
Oh, shit. What's that? Yeah. What's
I'm trying to understand. What do we?
Yeah.
Go ahead, dog. Don't.
Boy, that's just crazy, boy. I tell you. Boy, them damn politics crazy, ain't it?
Ooh, that's Trump, boy.
How they do that thing? You know what I'm saying? How they gonna serve hamburgers at the White House?
Look like a basketball.
McDonald's hamburgers.
Look like a basketball in the summer.
But anyway, but real talk, we've got to be comfortable with the notion that somebody's got to go. Even if it's Joe Jackson, like a 5th round rookie that you really like, we got so many defensive ends. You know what I'm saying? Like Randy's on the team, but he ain't on the roster. If that makes sense to y'all.
Right, which is actually an advantage.
Sure.
Because he won't take up a roster spot while he is suspended.
But we
come down that defensive line gonna be.
But see, that's where there's gonna be some surprise cuts. Now I'm gonna put this one out here. And I probably will get cussed out, but Tyrone Crawford could be.
Why would you say that?
I'm saying
$10 million.
Okay.
$10 million.
Well, no, it's not 10. Well,
He's
10 million is what he's going
making
to
work.
pay. But that's $6 million that
you know that.
I got that.
You do videos on it.
I know that. I agree with you. I've got him with Jobu and everything else. He's got Jobu T-shirts. But what I'm saying is, you look at the bottom line. You have guys over there. You say, well, you know what? We got some people here that maybe could take his spot that are going to be a whole lot cheaper.
I just said this.
I'm not going to be surprised by anything.
I just said this on John G channel. I just said this. As you know, we have to make up our mind what mindset we're in. If we're in franchise mode or if we're in win now mode. If we're in win now mode, contracts don't matter this year. We just need guys. We just need guys.
True.
So we can't say, oh, Tyrone Crawford, I'm gonna save that $8 million. We ain't gonna use that $8 million this year. We may use it next year. We can cut it next year.
Good point.
But we need bodies. We need people. And Tyrone Crawford is damn sure good enough to give you first team or a second team.
He ain't getting cut, not right now.
So I
I'm just saying that because you could look at say Lyle Collins because Lyle Collins could be trade bait.
I think that defensive line.
You might only get a fifth.
That's only if
I think injuries.
But see, this is where the Cowboys are going to look at training camp and they're going to see what they really have, and they might go ahead and make some of these decisions here.
I think injuries might work itself out.
You have a better shot at that happening.
Because if Malik Collins get hurt again, you already know it's over.
But again, okay, here's the thing. When you start talking about Amari Cooper, you start talking about Zeke, you start talking about Dak and having to pay those guys, you start looking and saying, okay, if I have to pay these guys that are going to be around for the next 3 or 4 years, where is it that I can save somebody now? Because Lyle Collins this is his last year.
But that was the next year conversation.
Right. Well, now, Lyle Collins, if you let him walk and he gets a big fat contract someplace else, you get a compensatory pick. If you can trade him now, and you know that Connor Williams and Connor McGovern can take care of that side, you save that $8.5 million. That's money that you can go towards taking care of one of those and have money in the bank in case shit happens.
I feel you, and that makes sense. But Adam Redmond played the whole game for us last year.
Okay.
I don't even want that no more.
Like I said, I'm not saying that these are things they should
Well,
do,
but
anyways. These are okay.
Nah,
but
I get what you're saying.
But these are discussions
that.
But these are discussions that you have to make because when you look back at some of the problems that we had in the past, we ended up having so many great players that were paid a lot of money. You had Jason Witten, you had Des Bryant, you had Tony Romo, you had DeMarcus Ware, and you had literally like $80 million tied up in like 6 guys. And this is when the salary cap was about $140 million. You were only averaging about $2 million for everybody else. So what happens is these guys get hurt. You're bringing in a Chaz Green, so to speak, to replace him. You had Pro Bowl. Hold on, listen to me. You had Pro Bowlers there, more than anybody else. But once you got past that level, you dropped down so far that you weren't able to succeed. So that's where you look at it and say, okay, here's $20 million between these 3 guys. Am I better off spending that money on some other guys, or knowing that I have some people that are in there that are in the gun? Because at this time last year, who thought anything about Antoine Woods?
Sure.
Right.
But at this point in the season, like we ain't really looking to sign big name free agents though.
No, but you still have to think. You have to think right now, but you also have to think down the road too.
Sure.
Okay, and you can have that whole mentality that it's 1 year and done, but what are the chances are that you really have just 1 year that you're really going to be able to make? If you say, well, I'm going to go all out this year, there's still 31 other teams that are trying to win the Super Bowl too. Absolutely. And if you spend everything on here right now, oh shit, then you're fucked for the next couple of years.
I'm just not trying to let go of my depth guys because I've seen what this team looks like without depth guys.
I
agree, and that's in 2017 that was our problem.
That's what we have this different.
Like right now,
you got guys that can start that are depth guys.
I think what he's saying right now is that like any of these guys right now won't affect any of that if we keep them this year. Like next year, we're still gonna be in a very good situation.
Yeah, well, next year, and here's the thing: we still have $74 million next year, and you could do Tyrone Crawford next year and still save even more money than you would this year.
That's why he's saying keep him.
Now we do have. I personally like the fact that instead of signing like we did with Brandon Carr, when we signed Brandon Carr for 5 years, $55 million, you kind of had to keep him. He was never going to be the shutdown corner that you thought he was going to be and got paid to be. But having a guy like Randall Cobb or Robert Quinn on that 1 year deal, they're looking to say, I need to get another contract. So they're going to be selling their ass out for next year. And if they do play really, really well, because you're like, well, you should sign up for a long-term deal. No, if they play really, really well and they go elsewhere, I'm getting a pick for them. So it's like trade Flowers with New England. New England let him go. Okay, we'll go ahead and sign, Bennett and replace him, and we got a 3rd or 4th round draft pick for his ass. And that's how you are able to continue to keep building. And the good thing about the Dallas Cowboys is we have been so good at drafting over the last few years. You look at our top line cost-wise right now, we've got like 4 guys that are over $10 million. And when you get down to, basically there's only like 6 guys that are over $5 million for next year under our cap. And you just start looking at all these names that are like $1 and $2 million because they're young drafted players. Sure. That is fantastic because you've been able to fill your roster of homegrown talent. Yeah. If you're the Redskins, you got to sign a Landon Collins for a big chunk of money or Josh Norman. They're eating up so much money, and you're basically renting them for 2 years. You get that rookie, you draft him, you got him 4 years on the cheap, 4 or 5 if he's a first rounder. And that's what the Cowboys have an advantage. And so when people look at saying, you can't pay Dak and this guy, well, you know what? When you draft well, you can actually do that because you can have your cornerstone pieces, and then you're paying these other guys jack crap.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Well, boy, keep Tyrone Crawford.
Okay. I'm not saying get rid of it, but these are you can best believe that these are discussions that will go on with the Dallas Cowboys because they're going to be looking and saying, we can't afford this guy, we can't afford that guy. Where can we save some money? And then we'll have those discussions. They may go around and say, are you crazy?
At that point, sure, absolutely. But man, like if it's a situation where Collins gets hurt, and Tristan Hill gets tired, and we need another 3-10. Boy, damn sure would be nice if we would still have, Tyrone Crawford. Like we actually.
Thank you very much, Miss Jackie, for the super chat.
Nice show,
you
Mark.
are enjoying it.
Nice show, Mark. Great to see you all together. Thank you, Voch E2Blu, DMV, and Mark. Excellent job tonight. Thank you.
Oh, we're gonna keep on going in bonus time here because I got all these guys here. They're not gonna let me in.
Notice she said Voch's name first. I just think that it's just so fantastic.
You are so needy.
It's so
why
fantastic.
are you so needy, Voch?
I'm trying to talk football. It's just so fantastic. This team, we finally got depth, but those depth guys are starting level depth guys. You know what I'm saying? I just think that's so fantastic.
And actually, she said, "Nice show, Mark. Nice to see all you guys together."
But when she named them, she said,
"Hey, all of that is irrelevant right now."
When she named us, she said, "Voch E2 DMV and Mark."
Who broke you, man?
Big Barton.
Who broke you?
Somebody pissed him off.
What are you talking about? What are you saying?
Somebody broke him.
Mike, what are you saying?
I have no idea.
Me neither.
He tries to come in all hard, tough, and everything else. I'm gonna knock you out. But I think he's a little childish.
Mark, I will say this, and I thought about this driving over here. Sometimes you gotta come on people's show and whoop them to get their respect. You know what I'm saying?
Are you kidding me?
Look, Mark, just real talk, man. Just hang in there with me and not let your ego get into this, man. I had to come on your show and whoop you to earn your respect.
My name ain't been, I ain't in it.
When did you whip me?
Huh?
When did you whip me?
When we first had the debate. It was this we had a big 5-person debate. It was like me.
Oh Lord! You mean the one I didn't even prepare for? I pulled the Joe Biden.
And Joe was there. No, but look, E2. He was like, I'll tell you what, Voch Lombardi guy, whoever the hell you are, you can come on my show and we can talk about it.
Who said this?
Mark said this.
I don't remember what the subject was.
When we first met. He didn't know me at first. And I came on the show and I smoked him. And it's been respect and handshakes ever since. Handshakes.
The first time you and I interacted was the draft of Dallas Cowboys.
Handshakes.
And I ain't shaking your hand. I will spit on that motherfucker.
Go ahead.
The first time you and I interacted was
the draft.
The Dallas Cowboys draft.
Sure.
And me and Voch hit off like we was brothers from another mother, which we are.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, acting a fool. All that was on camera. If y'all would have seen, and Michael Anthony was there.
I was there. Yeah, I was there.
You were there too. If you would have seen how we were acting when we got to the stadium, when we were walking in, and all the inside jokes.
Foots, believe it or not, Foots was there too.
Yeah, Foots was there.
He was there, but
he wasn't really there.
He was busy. What happened in Dallas State? Dallas. But anyway, woo!
And then let me say this too, man. Let me say this too.
What happens in Dallas State?
And man, I hate breaking the fourth wall because in terms of the show and the entertainment, we ain't really like this. Like, I love Mark. I love John G. E2. We good.
Yeah, we good.
When
we have no issues. Y'all think we have beef
Shut up,
with
Mark.
each other?
Oh, like,
the fans actually think we have beef with each other.
Like, this man wouldn't let me in his house and feed me and give me liquor if we had problems.
Right.
People think we got problems. I'm cool with
First of all, the whole reason why we're even here is because of Voch. It ain't had nothing to do with me. It ain't had nothing to do with DMV. It was all for. It was all this was for.
I would have been here.
All this was for Voch. No, hold on.
If Michael Anthony would have been here.
We know you do your normal Friday thing. But what I'm saying is, this whole thing right now was because of Voch. It ain't had nothing to do with us.
So let me.
Voch wasn't here.
Shut up.
We'd be watching you from home.
Just shut up. Just shut up. Just everybody shut up for a second, okay? Here's what I need y'all to do. Okay? Shut up. I need you all to go subscribe to E2Blu's channel. You want to take that finger down now? Okay. My man DMV, my man Voch Lombardi, and my man Michael Anthony Fitness. Because here's the thing: there's a lot of a lot of people are always talking about, well, man, I don't like your intro. I don't like the fact that you do all kinds of stuff. That's cool. I get that. I'm not the flavor for everybody that's out there. But believe me, there are a lot of people out there that might be the flavor that you want. And all of these guys, whether it's me, Michael, whether it's Voch, whether it's E2Blu or DMV Dallas Cowboys, they put in a lot of work to bring you guys great content and stuff and give you insight that you're not going to necessarily get from the four-letter networks and stuff. So definitely show everybody some love. Now, anybody want to flick me off again?
Thank you, Ms. Jackie.
Okay. Seriously. No respect. No respect. I get no respect.
You asked, man. Can we talk football?
Yes.
Who was that? Who left off on?
We were talking about all these great players that we're going to
building. Let me ask y'all a question. So when we're building rosters, right? Let's talk corners for a second. What do we factor when we're saving corners? When we're cutting corners? Do we factor in who's maybe going to be here in 3 years or whose contract is up? Example. We don't want to just say, "Oh, let's just not pay." Let's just not say, "I don't want to add Donovan Alumba to this team. We don't need corners because we got Byron, Cheeto, and we got Jordan."
They ain't never said that.
But Byron's contract is up, and Anthony Brown's contract is up.
Right.
And you don't want to be in a situation when those guys' contracts is up and they gone, and now you like, damn, it'd be nice to have Donovan Alumba, but I let him go. Or it'll be nice to have Michael Jackson, but I let him go. You know what I'm saying?
Or Travaris Ward that we traded away.
Yeah, but here's the reality, though.
How many cornerbacks do we actually keep?
Well, that's a good question. But
that's what I was saying. That's another deep position, I think.
Yeah.
But the reality is, you can only keep so many people. You only have 53-man roster. So, in a way, it's basically gambling because you don't know who's going to get hurt. You may have position, so we're going to keep 8 offensive linemen, and you end up losing 2 right away. All of a sudden, now you're at Schitt's Creek.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know what you don't know until the season happens.
Sure.
Typically, you add a little bit more defensive guys for special teams. Mostly defensive guys for special teams.
So that's where you're right. That's where you have guys that can play special teams as well as another position. So you need a multi-tool type of a guy. Where you have Tony Pollard, of course, who can play wide receiver as well as running back and maybe special team. So you look at him and say, he's young. Trayvon Austin, he's nice when he can play, but he has an injury history. Then you go ahead and stick with the younger guy.
I just think I'm gonna be sick when we finally let these guys go, man.
Definitely.
I kind of don't want to let Tavon go because of what I saw in the punt return, the kick return, the playoff.
I agree,
but Tony and John Vale do just fine. Yeah. Tony and John Vale do just fine. Like they're just as explosive, man. They'll probably last longer than Tavon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's gonna suck when we get that report. 10 people have been
Junebug, thank you very much for the super chat.
10 people have been cut from the roster. We go, damn, dog, like he didn't make it. That guy didn't make it. So gotta deal with it.
It's sad, but it's a nice problem to have.
But we keep talking about these players. We have not talked about
Oh
coaching yet.
Lordy.
Yeah, I had to bring this up because we keep talking about
Pro Football Focus has us rated at 12 as far as coaching staff. I'm happier with the defensive coaching staff. I'm actually like the idea of having Kellen Moore at least change for nothing else, for change's sake, of getting rid of Scott Linehan. If for no other reason, the fact that there is no book out on what Kellen Moore will do at least leaves some surprise of element. And when you're hearing about them going with 4 wides to the red zone, that's going to give people things to think about. They may never line up that way in the red zone, but at least you're hearing about it.
If we have adequate coordinators, do y'all give Jason Garrett a pass?
I think Jason Garrett. Honestly, I think that he should get an extension right now.
Because I've been pro Jason Garrett. For
I get what you're saying,
know.
but there's no homegrown talent like we keep talking about without coaching.
I've been pro Jason Garrett for a long time, and that was me and Mark's first argument. But
Garrett and Dak won't be over this year.
that some bitch run the machine, dog. And what you got to do with typical head coach, because we always go back to Belichick. But typical head coaches, what we got to do is when you find flaws in your head coach, your coordinators got to mask that. So if Garrett's not a defense guy, then we get top tier defense guys, and we have that.
First of all, coordinators' lives matter. That's
Sure.
Two, your coordinators make your coach. And
Shout out Chris Jackson.
We know that Jason Garrett is a
motivator.
Monday through Saturday coach.
That's something
he is
that's
a
running the
motivator.
machine.
He does.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Mhm.
His philosophy is great. What we see from Jason Garrett is different than what he really is with the players. We see a melatonin robot.
Yeah.
Well, here's what. Okay.
Hold on, let me finish. And with that, we give him a lot of hate. Now, some of it is warranted, but again, your coordinators. I think that he's got better coordinators. They got the right ones out of here.
Oh, definitely.
They got the right ones out of here. Now, if this team does much better this year, Jason Garrett allows his coordinators to do their job, which is what they're supposed to do. Run the team on Sunday. The coach is there to deal with the timeouts, the challenges, 2-minute drills, things of that nature, penalties, whatever. That's what coaches are supposed to be. Some teams warrant their coaches to do different, but that's where Jason Garrett excels. When he puts his philosophy in, this is what I expect, and I'll let you guys do work your magic.
Yeah.
If you don't have coordinators that work your magic, that's where the Cowboys falter. That's why our plays were trash, because he allowed Linehan to have full reign on that, and he failed it.
Well, here's where I have to give Jason Garrett credit, okay? And we know you and I have had fights about Jason Garrett and stuff, because I've been like, just get him out of here.
Sure.
When the team was 3-5, okay, when they talked about replacing Scott Linehan at the bye week, when we were already hearing about possible replacements at the end of the season, when nobody gave the Dallas Cowboys a chance, when you're talking about 3-5, nobody's won the NFC East at 3-5, turning it around. Right. And looking at what happened here in Washington, you started hearing, those guys basically feeding on themselves when things went south. When you see teams that just basically, like the Steelers and stuff, that team stayed together and had a bunker mentality. I don't know if it was Jason Garrett or the other coaches or whatever, but the fact that they stayed together and played together, I have to give them credit for. Sir Cowboys, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Send one of those cigars my way. Everyone has one once the NFC East. Well, we're going to smoke one for my man E2Blu, the new daddy. Oh, I can't believe that you are part of the fraternity now, man. Welcome, man. It's a lifetime.
Lamar Davis is right behind you.
Again.
Again.
It's not the first time.
No,
DeMario's popping them out every year.
But
What you talking about?
It's not the first time I dealt with kids.
He's got like 5 or 6.
But he got the money though. So.
Y'all talking about him? I'll be there next month.
What, in New Orleans?
No.
Again.
Yeah, my wife.
Again.
How many you got?
He's about to have his third.
That's not too bad.
John, you don't play, man.
I got 3.
John said, pull off for what?
Okay, PG show.
He said that ain't natural.
He said, I'm about to paint these walls out here. Like,
That ain't natural.
what is this?
Blue on it. Shoot the glove up.
Shoot the glove up.
E2, people are wondering why you ain't eating your wings, man.
I don't know why everybody keep wondering. Fact check out.
Because people worry about you. They care about you, man. They
Because I'm
love you.
engaged in the conversation. Like,
What a mumbo
when I'm eating, I'm eating. When I'm conversing, I'm conversing.
What
Like,
a mumbo sauce?
Okay. Oh, I forgot the mumbo sauce.
What mumbo sauce?
I left
Um,
I can take it home.
Laws in the building.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna call you 53. Thank you very much for the super chat,
I'll live it.
Sir Cowboy.
Now I've
Thank you
been
for
having
another
some
super
issues. I
chat.
need Mark to come
Do
to my
you
house.
really
My
want some mumbo
refrigerator went
sauce?
out.
Huh?
You really want some mumbo sauce?
Just at some point later on.
I need Mike to fix
Oh,
my
you mean to
life.
take home?
I live in Texas, man. We don't have it in Texas.
We got groceries. You're here for a week, aren't you?
No, I'm leaving.
They got it on Amazon?
You live.
Bruh.
You go on Amazon. Order on Amazon.
Oh Lord.
Shout out to
On
Nene.
Amazon.
Look, wait. Man come in my house, disrespect me, and then say, man, I'm gonna take some Mambo sauce.
Mark.
Nah, he gonna come in here. I'm gonna take half this bar.
Mark, what are you saying? I only asked for the whiskey and the mambo sauce. Come on.
He's like, man, this is some good whiskey here, man. I'm gonna
Yeah,
take
I
it.
came out with two things: the shrimp and the mumbo sauce.
That's it.
Damn it! Yeah, look, you didn't bring my bang shrimp. So
So time out. How long is this live stream? I'm just how long we been going?
Corey, thank you very much for the super
An
chat.
hour 33, and I ain't saying nothing. I just want a little bottle to go home with, man. Just a little bottle, just to get past TSA, man. Just to get a little bottle.
Law Nation in the house.
Law.
What's up, Law?
Oh yeah, we definitely handling the rum for you guys, man.
Shout out
Law.
to Law Nation, man.
Law's a Henny man.
And then my daughter's calling too.
Listen to nothing but the best.
Okay, I'll be right back.
What she say?
What? Oh.
Oh, see.
Have some fun.
All right, so while Mark's doing that, I'm gonna.
Hey, what's going on?
Well, anyway, the show got
Hey, wait. We know the
Hello,
last.
friends. Mark Holmes here, and
Wait, time out. We know the last time what happened when you took over, and we all left here. So
he don't ever need us to take over.
yeah, never.
Y'all remember what happened.
Look,
Never.
I just seen Mark go upstairs and let us just run the show.
Yeah,
Let
look
the show go
No,
on.
somebody said that in one of his old videos. They was like, he ain't gonna get a word in edgewise. He was like, they about to take over. He said, Voch gonna be disrespectful, Irvin gonna laugh,
Hey, look, I'm being nice.
and DMV just gonna be DMV.
Hey,
Someone
look, I'm being
said,
Everybody was like,
on the
why DMV
conversation.
can't talk? DMV talking?
Hey, you want to take over the conversation?
Yeah, so
I mean, that's what we were saying about that, so you took
So
over
we
the
were talking about
conversation.
cornerback. So next up is safety. So
Georgia Lowe getting cut.
no, hold on, bruh.
Cut his ass.
He getting his ass beat by rookies.
Hold on, give me Mark for a second.
By third
you get
string
this camera.
Hold on,
receiver.
about safeties for a second. Check this out.
Get a little guy.
Check this out. Y'all go back and check my video, my channel plug,
You
shameless
good, Mark?
plug.
Everything good?
George
Everything
Iloka.
cool?
George
Jeff, he beating
Iloka.
his ass right now for that spot.
Everything
First of all,
Everything cool?
Jason Garrett
Okay.
creates competition at every level of the game.
Sure, he
This is his philosophy. We know this, right?
Yeah.
George Iloka, I believe, and I know you're going to disagree, but look at me when I'm talking to you. George Iloka,
I'm tall.
just a little bit. That's because I'm a linebacker. You're an offensive lineman. You're an offensive lineman. It's different. That motherfucker rolls. I said, no, I was just saying.
Why you wearing?
Why you? I didn't know you was that tall.
Okay,
We got yelled at defensive lineman. Why you let him get to me, damn?
where was your antennas?
Anywho, so George Iloka, I believe that he is going to play better with the Dallas Cowboys than he's ever had with the Bengals and the Vikings. One, he was in the wrong scheme with the Vikings. The Bengals, they started off playing him well, and then in the end, it's like they got younger guys, and they were just like, he was an afterthought after a while. And after especially listening to him in the interview, he said that he loves the scheme that the Cowboys are running. He feels that it is more tuned to the way that he plays. And again, when a player says that, they're going to do well. Look at Byron Jones. When Byron Jones came back to his natural position at corner, that's when he started playing well. And I believe that you play him, he's a box type of safety. He's not a guy that's going to be out there. He's a tackler. He's a sure tackler. He's not a guy that's going to be out there getting you all types of interceptions. That's what you have. Excuse me. That's what you have Xavier Woods for.
Sure.
You play him like you did Barry Church. You put him in the box. You let them play him down with the linebackers, contain the running backs, and I'm telling you, that is where he is going to excel at. And I think that if you start him and play Jeff Heath a little less, I think that you're going to get more plays out of Jeff, and Jeff is going to play much better, because when Jeff is not starting and he's not playing 100%, that's when he doesn't show bad angles, and he's tackling, and he's getting interceptions, and he's doing his damn thing. So that's just the basis of what happened.
George, you just say, let me get my point.
Here's where I disagree.
No, because Voch about to tear it up. So.
Here's where I disagree. Where I hear many camp stories of guys like, well, I know John Bay has been pretty good. You can see it on tape where he kind of beat Michael Jackson a little bit. But when I hear stories about John Vea beating his ass and Devin Smith, who ain't gonna make this roster, beating his ass, then I can't agree with him starting at all. And they already say he's not even splitting reps with Jeff Heath at all. And a guy like Jeff Heath, where you would allow him to front run, unless you're more talented than him, you're not gonna beat him out.
something that we have with these safeties, with these box safeties, strong safeties, is versatility in terms of what if they got to come in and play nickel corner for a few snaps. Jeff Heath is a pretty good nickel corner. Donovan Wilson is a pretty good nickel corner.
Yeah, he surely is.
George Logan ain't.
I agree with that.
George Logan ain't. Also, they got to be able to switch and play free. We know Jeff Heath can play a little bit of range. Donovan Wilson can play some range. Logan can play the range.
Sure as hell can. Play about as much range as I can.
Yeah.
I'm not a safety.
You kind of no, okay. So, it comes down to versatility. And I always bring it back to this, man. I was doing research on George Logan, man. I looked him up in the film situation, and I saw 13 plays from him last year. I called a homie, the Vikings guy. I say, "Hey, Viking guy."
Is that how you address him?
100%. I said, "Hey, Viking guy, what the hell George Logan been doing?" He was like, "Oh, he was just on kickoff person." I'm
because
like,
he was in the wrong scheme.
but I'm like, what the hell? Like, why is he here? Like, did he cuss somebody out? Did he get hurt? He said, nah. He just lost his job to the curse kid.
Wasn't it was he an undrafted guy or a drafted guy? So it was some guy. No, somebody named Antoine something.
I don't know. I just know that the Vikings got a strong safety. So a young cat named Curse is 6'4", they can run, hit, and tackle, and his ass can cover out the nickel.
Okay.
Georgia Lowe can't cover out the nickel.
Right. So do you think that he's not going to make this roster? Is that what you're saying?
There's a possibility.
Or you just saying
that
he's going to be a rotation
That's
player?
the hot.
It's gonna come down to guys like that last 46 situation. It's gonna be guys like George Iloka versus Kerry Hyder versus like Tavon Austin.
I think George could make the roster, but ask me if he's gonna be here past week 5, 6.
No, he ain't gonna be like.
Cause look, when like Randy come back, and we need spots and shit. Like it's gonna be rough.
He won't be here long, is what I'm saying.
If that, we just a new team. You better stop. We just a new talented team.
You know, I couldn't let it fly.
I just don't think we got room for a guy that couldn't play no snaps in Minnesota. He played.
All right. So who's the breakout player of the year?
You get one of the hot ones? I think one of the hot ones.
Did you get one of the hot ones?
No.
The extra?
You got some?
You got a mic on?
Because I only got one outside.
You don't need a refill of the.
Oh well, yeah. If you got more of that. But you know, I don't know if you had rocks now because you said you had to go away to get
I'm trying
rocks.
not to break hearts. They don't understand that George isn't even close. He's not even close to Heat, bro.
Shit, kill him with kindness, man.
Yeah, man, he's not even close to Heat. Yeah, I'm not a Heat fan. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you what it is.
People think Jeff
Heat
trash.
Bro, they're not even splitting reps right now. Like, think about it. All these other positions, they're trying to see, okay, which you look like with the first team. George Loca ain't getting no first team reps, y'all. He getting his ass busted by guys that ain't gonna make the roster. I'm trying to tell y'all this the nicest way possible. Your man is not beating out Jeff Heath. It ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
It needs to vent.
What do you think about that, Mark?
About what?
Huh?
I'm sorry, I missed it. We're talking about his refrigerator being broken.
I don't know what we're talking about. I just want to see if you would. No, we'll talk about Jeff Heath and him getting a little more respect, and that the fact that Jeff Heath is clearly.
I love Heath.
Jeff Heath is clearly going to be Georgia Logan.
Going to. He already beat him out.
Yeah, he's already beat him out.
Okay.
So Georgia Logan ain't going to catch Jeff Heath, basically.
It's not gonna happen.
Unless something drastic happens.
He ain't going to get Donovan Wilson either.
You mean like you go to Harris?
Like he
For the
gets
first
hurt.
time you talked me off my ledge. All right, I'm done.
I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. If you're okay with
I'm
it.
done.
Here's the key. If you got a pass rush,
I ain't sure.
it doesn't matter quite as much. If you got a pass rush that's getting to the quarterback and making them piss down their legs in 2 seconds, then you're good.
Cowboy fans just look for a reason to hound people. You know?
Well, some Cowboys, we got some good. We have some great ones.
Yeah, like six Cowboy fans.
No, there's more.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, you guys. You
7 Cowboys.
I tell you what, there's some out there. I'm like, are you really a Cowboy fan? Because some of them, are talking about, I can't wait till Dak goes ahead and fails this year. It's like, why? Why would you say that if you're a Cowboy fan?
Well, they say we need to go ahead and tank the season so Jason Garrett can fired.
Yeah.
I would never.
Every Cowboy fan should be hoping for a Jason Garrett extension because because we win the Super Bowl, Jason Garrett gets extension. So you should be winning the Super Bowl right now. So I just
agreed.
Get over yourself.
Let me ask you this
Thank you,
question.
Mr. Jackie. I appreciate that.
Seeing people saying, well, he can't tackle. Well, damn it, Aloka can't cover. Do you want your safety out here tackling that many people? You want your linebackers making all the tackles?
Every time Jeff Heath tackles somebody, I'm like, damn, like why he get way out there? You know what I'm saying? Like where was Van Der Esch? Where was Smith?
So this is the thing. One thing.
Yeah.
When we had them injuries on defensive line, it matriculated down. That's what happened.
It did what?
Matriculated down.
Okay.
All right, get the chicken crumb off here.
It matriculated.
Let me get your thoughts on Tristan Hill.
Tristan Hill's fantastic. Stop touching me, man. I'm trying to get my words out.
Body shots.
My voice is cracking.
I love the Tristan Hill pick.
What do you like?
I do too.
I love the fact that he is like he's got his pants on fire, his hair's on fire. He is a beast that can get upfield.
His ball get off is ridiculous.
He reminds me of a war. That's what she said. Okay. Don't
Like what I
for
said,
you.
Lil John. What I say? In this defense, this D line, where there's a constant rotation, where you're constantly fresh, his ball get off, his energy, his first step is ridiculous.
That motor, baby.
He doesn't have all the technical stuff.
He'll learn that.
I think he fell by the wayside with a lot of these scouts because of his production.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't really.
Because he didn't play like
He didn't play because of
He
the whole
played that way because it's on the film. He just didn't start because he had problems with
the coaching
his
staff.
team. And even I had to stop and self-reflect how I feel as a film watcher or whatever. Because when I'm watching film on, y'all can check it out on
I seen it
on Dan's channel. Not my video,
I saw yours.
but the one that's on the unintentional grounding channel. I was in love with Tristan Hill, but since the pundits was saying 4th, 5th, 6th round, I was saying 4th, 5th. I wasn't trusting myself. You know what I'm saying? But I'm watching the film. That first step.
Wait, hold
on. Okay,
why are you trusting the pundits?
It happens sometimes. It happens. Even with the whole Tony Pollard situation, right? If you watch Tony Pollard, you go, damn.
It's a situational trust.
You go, damn, he can run between the tackles. He's fantastic. He's a 4-3 what runner? But if he's not talked up amongst those guys, you don't really put him up there. It's a subconscious thing. You know what I'm saying? And I get better every year as a talent evaluator. I always say that.
You got to forget that noise out there because you have to trust. You know what? Because you got to go ahead and say this is what I think about it, right, wrong, or different. Because nobody's 100%.
100%.
And that's where this is the thing that drives me crazy is because I always hear about Dak Prescott's a 4th round drafted quarterback. You know, there's a reason why he's drafted. Yeah, because people didn't give him a chance because they said he's from the Southeast Conference, and they don't put quarterbacks out there.
Well, see,
they
Dak
didn't
different. Dak different because you don't get drafted off intangible. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to have some arm talents. You got to have some whatever.
I'm telling
Dak just tough. Dak wins ball. Dak just got that thing that's him. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad to have it. I'm telling you, because when I looked at the talent he was playing against in the Southeast Conference, you know the Southeast Conference puts 55-plus players in the NFL. He was playing against elite talent and won at a place that was not a football factory. They're putting people in the NFL now because of the house that Dak Prescott built. But when you looked at him versus Carson Wentz playing Division I AAA football, I'm kind of like, they put in 2 or 3 players. You might be good, but you're not playing that elite talent, that guy that's going to whip that ass. Yeah.
But, that was just me. I was just kind of saying, maybe a little bit better than a 4th round, but, then again,
it's just a process of just trusting your eyes. Because in real life, I've only been doing this for like 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't like a long time scout. I just played ball, coach ball.
Max Kellerman was a rapper.
Hey, man.
Okay.
I'm a little better than that.
I'm just saying.
Some people that evaluate the talent that put Connor Cook over that. So don't feel bad.
I ain't gonna say that.
Well, Connor Cook and Paxton Lynch said we should have we screwed up by not drafting Paxton Lynch.
I was not on board with Paxton, but in terms of
I wasn't on board.
In terms of Tristan Hill though, like he got to work on his hands. He got to keep his eyes up. He got to find the football things like that can be taught.
In the next couple of years, he'll be a monster.
You can't teach a first step like that. You can't teach that kind of burst at 300 pounds, 200.
You can't.
Tyrone Crawford still hasn't found it.
But Taco only had 1 year really starting this up. And see, I think part of Taco's is up in his head because he was used to be. Right. It's kind of like he's still living that I'm Taco and I'm a college player and I was great and all that stuff, and he feels that it should just be there.
But
you got to work your ass off, and it's because when you listen to him talk about like he's being slighted or he's not given a chance on, you get a chance when you prove that you can do something. They will put you out there if you can play.
Wasn't the same guy say who's Charles Haley?
Yeah.
Think about Taco though.
Great point.
And I'm saying Cowboy fans gonna love this. Like the year that you want Taco to go off was last year, when it really wasn't a lot of comp on the team.
This year.
Yeah. It's way too much competition.
Because Dorrance Armstrong breathing down that neck, bro.
Dorrance can play.
Yeah.
Dorrance can play. Carey can play.
That's why I'm excited as
Carey,
shit. That defensive line, man.
Think about this. We got 4 guys on our team.
9 sacks with the Lions
3.
in a rotational position.
We got 3 guys on our team that have led a team in sacks before. D-Law, Quinn, and Carey Hyde. They've led their respective team in sacks before.
That's big.
That's competition.
And you got Rod Marnelli, the defensive line whisperer, working with them.
Finally let him get the guy he wanted to get. So
Yeah.
That should let you know like something right there. Interesting.
Did Randy ever lead the Cowboys in sacks? No.
He ain't been around long
He
enough.
can though. Oh,
Randy Gregory?
Randy, he hasn't, but he can.
He had last year was 6 sacks, which was his most. He only had 1 going into that season.
Randy rolls out the bed a better pass rusher than everybody on the team.
Yeah, but until the NFL changes the rules on weed. Oh,
I was saying we should re-sign him right before he got popped because I was just like, man, you get him for cheap.
Get him cheap. Yeah, get him cheap.
Well, I think here's the thing. I think that's going to be the nugget that the NFL ends up giving the NFLPA. We're going to take that weed out of the situation here, so that way we're going to get a better deal. You know what I mean? That's an easy throw in for the NFL. Because the players will be like, the Players Association, oh hell yeah, let's get that.
They just know when to do it.
I think if Randy,
you ain't gonna sit here and tell me that Zeke Elliott don't smoke.
I think if Randy missed
Let's go with Long.
Like this damn phone.
Let's go with the Man of the Year, Chris Long, who says, he's like, listen, we know when we're going to be tested, so you stop smoking a month before.
As soon as you get cut once. As soon as you get caught once,
then
you're in the system. You're in the system.
And we're going to make an example.
Random you. Yep.
That's why the regular got popped before the column.
I think if Randy misses games, it'll be 2 of them. Like, I always go back to the wording of it. You know what I mean? Like, when Randy got caught up, the report was...
but see, here's the thing, though. We're talking about Cowboys, so.
I feel you, but just watch it. Like, when it came out, it was like, Randy Gregory could be suspended because of possible violation to the substance,
Right.
But when David Irvin got caught, it was like, look, David Irvin was smoking. They're like, we caught David smoking. You know, it was different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what I think happened with Randy was he was probably late for one of those like conditional meetings or something. That old shit.
Which is possible. But here's the thing, though. You hear that Tristan Hill met with the NFL yesterday for 8 hours, and they're talking about worst case scenario that it's only going to be a 4-game suspension.
Tristan Hill?
Tristan Hill.
For what?
The child abuse?
That wasn't Tristan Hill.
I'm sorry. Tariq Hill. I'm sorry.
Hey man,
Tariq Hill. I'm sorry. Sorry.
What about
Tariq
Hill?
Okay,
Mark
listen.
Holmes, you have a platform and a responsibility for
I'm
these
sorry.
people in this chat box.
Tariq Hill. Excuse me.
That's how
Tariq
you
Hill.
talk to him. For these people in the chat box talking about Tristan Hill being his kids?
What? Tristan doesn't have any kids.
I've had several concussions back before they even care. Okay, I'm gonna tell you how bad it used to be. No. This is a true story. Okay, this is going back to JMU days. We had an offensive tackle, Adam Burkett, who was would have been an NFL player, but he had a hip degeneration. 298 pounds. I got recruited to JMU, the ones on the right, to play defensive tackle. Nose tackle. At 220 pounds. Knew nothing about being a defensive lineman. He just threw that sucker down.
That's that offensive lineman.
Okay, make a long story short. In practice, I'm getting hit by the center. I'm getting hit by the guard. I'm getting hit by the guard and the center. I'm getting hit by the fullback. I'm just getting hit every which way. And I remember Warren Marshall, our running back, coming right through. The guard went one way, the center went the other way. I'm standing in the hole thinking I'm finally going to get a tackle. And I stood up. And Adam Burkett, the tackle, who was about 6'4", 298 pounds, hit me in the ear hole, and I landed over there.
That shit hurt.
We always talk about blue dot hits, or when you see the birds.
Did you see it?
I saw the blue dots with the birds going around. And I remember Coach Jones standing over me saying, never stand up in the hole. And back in that day, because I could literally turn my head and feel my brain not turn with my head.
Shit.
It was right back out there in practice. And I know now, what I know now, that was a flat out badass concussion. Because I couldn't, everything bothered me for 2 weeks.
I remember
So, when I make a mistake, when I meant to say Tariq Hill, forgive me, okay? I have.
Was that really a 7-minute story on why you said Tariq?
No, I do.
Mark is dyslexic.
That I'm
It's
dyslexic
okay.
too.
He's
I'm
dyslexic.
dyslexic
It's
too.
okay.
Okay.
It's all right.
I've never
A lot
claimed
of people are.
I've never claimed to be that bright. Okay. So understand I will make mistakes. I didn't mean.
Smart guy, Mark. I think you're a smart guy.
I have, yeah, but everybody has
But
things they're
dyslexia
good
makes
at.
makes you look at names and
Wings
numbers
high.
Yeah.
differently.
Wings
Right.
It does that.
What? You said-
Wings high as hell.
But they're good though.
That's why I keep going over there because it tastes good, but it
Like when
hurts.
when Mark says, Mark Colombo, he says Marco Colombo. I was like, dude, he has the same name as you. You can't mess that up.
Hey,
I
hey,
do.
look. Watch it. Mark, who's the backup left guard that played in What's his name? Salafalo.
Suafilo.
I'm the name butcher. It's what I do. Okay.
I'm
All
sorry.
right.
I've been
Okay.
watching his videos just for that.
Until I get hired by ESPN and they have people that work on my, script and all that stuff, then you're gonna get what you get here.
Feet went up.
Hey, we went dark.
My feet went out.
Yep, we went dark.
Can y'all hear us?
Hold up.
You all
We
out.
didn't boys. What happened?
Marco, let me take some mumbo sauce on that.
We got shut down by YouTube.
Hey, E2, Marco, let me take some mumbo sauce on
It's
hold on a second.
Salafalo, not in my house.
Okay.
The hell going?
Let me.
Michael Anthony Fitness Channel still?
Yeah, mine's so open.
Okay, so I'm okay on here. That is the camera.
Shit, I'm good.
Hold up.
Michael, funny shit, he just walked over there. Line up.
Shit, mine's
I
great.
have to get my charge off.
Right.
You keep
All y'all
talking.
peasants.
The mic is live, so you can keep talking. Might be my battery died.
We still here, y'all. We still here.
Can y'all hear me?
Everybody here, Voch.
Hey, man, don't say that.
Hey, we should like fist fight. Come on, man.
Why you hit me with that glass?
Just a bar fight going on over here.
Damn devil.
Goddamn devil.
We got some visuals on your chair, Mark, but not on my chair.
Yeah, I changed cameras because that one's shut down. Hold on, let me see if I can get that back.
God, I love his wings.
Man, ain't they good though?
Oh my God.
I get fat every time, but
Every time.
they can hear us.
You know, man.
You two, they can hear us.
You just had one?
They heard us. They can hear us.
The wings hurt you.
Whew.
Sorry guys, my battery I think died.
I said, yeah, I hear you, Voch.
Oh, I'm sitting there over dipping them.
I'm sitting here being modest. I got one. What the hell am I doing?
I don't know. I tell you what.
I tell you what, we're not gonna do.
If Papa Mark let me take
Did you
that
say
mumbo
Papa?
sauce
Hold
on.
on, let me just-
If Papa Mark let me take that mumbo sauce on.
Did you call him Papa Mark just so he can give you some?
Hey man, don't break up happy people.
I'm sorry.
Come on now.
I love both of y'all.
All right, I think we just had need to change our battery.
Mm-hmm.
You had a bad upbringing.
Had a bad upbringing. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you know, I had
Okay.
terrible life.
And you guys are back just like that. Sorry, my battery wasn't quite charged all the way.
Not even have one.
What you trying to say, man?
Mm.
Why you keep wanting to bust on me, man? I done fed you. I done give you liquor, man.
Thank you, sir.
I'm giving you a platform to talk on here.
Somebody
Thank you,
said
sir.
stop talking about how much I love Mark and me.
That's fair.
Stop talking about what?
I'll stop now.
Right.
On that note,
Since you put it that way.
since you said that word,
Okay.
Somebody said y'all stop talking about how much y'all like Marks and me.
shut your hungry
Damn it, Carol.
Somebody put that in the chat. Hey,
Okay. All right. Apologize on that. My battery ended up dying over here on the Mevo camera. So,
It's all good. We about to be smacking on camera, but it's all good.
Dak, 4,200 yards, 30 touchdowns,
That was
8
hilarious.
interceptions, 8 rushing TDs.
I couldn't.
Damn, that's an MVP season right there.
So, I was on
And Cowboys win the Super Bowl,
I was
right?
on Twitter arguing with somebody.
In case y'all don't know who I am,
said-
I'm Voch Lombardi. I'm also a YouTuber. Y'all go check my channel out, VOCHLOMBARDI.
How many shameless plugs is he gonna do? To
I'm
his
chronicling the film
Because
session.
somebody actually said they didn't know who he was. I was actually
Yeah,
shocked
some
by
people
that.
that say don't know who Voch is.
How you not know who Voch is?
I can see how they can say they don't know me. 'Cause
Somebody
I'm
actually
trash.
said on my channel, it's like, I hope Voch plugs your channel as much as you plug Voch.
I'm trash. I don't know.
Yeah, he just said,
I
you know what?
Mark, you's a real one, man, because you put your plugs in, man. But something that I do say, though, Mark, something I do say is I say, I'm a fan of Mark Holmes. I'm a fan of Mark Holmes. I'm also a fan of
Good night, Boomer Sooner. Thanks for coming in the chat, brother.
I'm not a fan of a lot of Dallas Cowboy YouTube because apparently there's 60 of us. I didn't know it was 60 Dallas Cowboy YouTubers.
Is it?
I can't count them because I don't know how many. And it's more and more every week.
There's plenty of us.
I apologize because I ain't got that kind of time to watch everybody.
I follow about 10. After 10, I can't name anybody.
I
else.
follow all you guys, Law Nation, and things like that. But you know, here's the thing,
really
and this is the truth because I stay busy because I'll put some shit up that's fucked up. I'll be the first one to say it
Why
because
would you say that on camera?
I'm sorry. No. I mean, as in the sound is messed up and things like that. Because literally, I come down in the morning, I sit down there at the desk, I do my video because I got to get out the door to get to my day
Or
job.
at least listen to the first 2 seconds so you know. Because sometimes you still have the super chat voice on, and I'm like, I can't even listen to this video. I was like, Mark, why don't you put this up? Delete this shit and redo it.
And I don't know until somebody says.
E2Blu. Thanks for the super chat. Thank you. Thank you for watching my video.
Sorry, man, listen, I get about 4 or 5 hours sleep a night.
You ain't the only one. I got a newborn.
Okay, well, all right, okay. But before you had the newborn, it's been that way for me for years. And then when I do go to bed, I can't sleep, man. My body is so screwed up that I have to get up in the middle of the night and walk around to try and stretch it out.
I'll be honest with you guys. Like I feel like I'm the lowest level of the Dallas Cowboys YouTubers. I appreciate all you guys that follow me.
We on the same level, man.
And I
I'm a low level, dude.
Nah, dude, you're the OG. First of all, when you think of Dallas Cowboys YouTubers, you think of Mark Holmes, because Mark Holmes, you are the face of the Dallas Cowboys YouTubers. The reason why I say this is because you're out there the most. Your videos are recommended the most because you do 1 million of them. That's one. You,
they only have
the top. I would say the top 3. You, Voch, and Law. Well, 4 if you add Okoye. Shout out to Okoye too. All of you guys are the top YouTubers, and then everybody else just falls in.
Guys, we're in the studio. Let's talk about Amari Cooper.
Okay.
Guys, we're in the shop. Let's talk about Amari Cooper. Guys, I'm on the deck. Let's talk about Amari Cooper. Guys, on the live stream.
I brought out some news. I beat Mark to a news item one time. One time. And you know when it was because Mark was actually late on it. I don't know what happened.
And I think I came on your channel and said, you got me, man.
Yes, you did. And it's because you did the same exact video I did. And you didn't see my video at the time. So they were in your chat box like, oh, E2 got you.
I'm like, what?
He's like, E2 got you. He's like, how did that bastard get me? He's like, damn it, I'm supposed to get it every time.
I take pride in that stuff, man. And you know what drives me crazy? Is when I'm like working someplace out in Timbuk 3 and shit where there's no signal and it's taking like a half hour to upload some shit.
I think you out in Waynesboro when it happened.
No, it was out in Warrenton.
Yeah, Waynesboro.
Over there at Barnes'
Yeah, Waynesboro not
I'll be like, God damn it, I can't get this shit.
I was out in Warrenton the other day because my job, we got accounts out there too. But yeah. Dude, like when I did that video, I said, "Shit, Mark."
You're like,
no. I'll be in the and I told you about this. I'll be in the middle of recording a video, and my notification will pop on my damn phone. Mark Holmes, God damn it, I'm talking about the same shit.
E2, y'all look.
So then I gotta adjust what I say in the video. I gotta start it over and be like, you know what?
Well, shit, Mark said this. Listen, man, I learned a lot. I'm never gonna beat people to the first one.
I really don't care.
I'm never look.
We joke about it. But
Look, man, some breaking news come out. I sit back and go, Cause I know if I go straight to YouTube, Mark gonna have a video.
Mark gonna have it. I'm
Law,
gonna have a video.
My Cowboy fan, all them.
Law be in his car like
If I end up being disappeared, you know what happened. One of the YouTubers.
Oh, we done wrapped his ass up in a box somewhere.
That's right.
Put his ass in a box.
Yeah.
We're gonna treat you like Ray Caruth. We're gonna put your ass in the trunk.
In the trunk. Put him in.
Caruth! You can't spot his black ass in Nashville.
Listen,
shout out to all my Nashville people.
Hey, look though. This is what Law do. Law will turn a 5-minute video to a 40-minute video.
Could he do that?
He's brilliant. This what Law do.
Yo,
hey, look, this what Law do.
Nation, bro.
This what Law do. It be some new news like, oh, Tristan Hill grew 2 feet. He gonna talk about Tristan Hill growing 2 feet for 2 minutes. Then look, he'll do this. Chat box, tell me what y'all think about Tristan Hill growing 2 feet. And he'll read chat box and they'll keep talking to his ass about Tristan Hill growing 2 feet. Law is a genius. Law and Mark, I'm giving you flowers, Mark. Y'all genius with this whole content thing, man. Y'all genius. I'm lazy. I wait last minute and cuss people out or whatever.
So what I do is I try to do different things than what Mark does. I talk about a lot of stuff that people forget, like the guys that probably not gonna make the team, but
like the tight end I never heard of.
Give my last video. Give you interesting facts about these guys that people don't think about.
Well,
that's what I provide. And
again,
my whole hashtag keep it real. That's true. And I
Keeping
gotta
it real goes wrong.
And I got first of all I respect Mark for the most part because I started my YouTube channel because of him. And
even though I dissed you at the
I was here, I synced it.
You did. And see, when I first started my YouTube channel, I thought Mark was an asshole when I first met him.
He is.
You remember the story? We was at. No, hold on, pause. No, we were. Michael, you remember? No, Michael, you weren't there that day. You
My
were there
wife
the
was.
second time. So I was there, and I was like, oh, because I had already followed you. I was like, hey, I follow you. Can I buy a shirt? And then your wife was like, he's trying to talk to you, dumbass. And like you ignored me. But I knew I didn't take it to heart because I know you was running around. Dude, that's when I realized that Mark can't multitask for shit.
Easy, I'm telling you, you gotta debate him to get his respect. He
put me on the channel.
He's like a boss battle. You gotta beat him to unlock him. You know what I'm saying?
You stupid.
But
I did that. That boss battle was me being on this channel. Yeah. He liked me being on this channel. His subscribers at the time took me well. It was like, who's this guy? He's kind of cool.
Because if you a scrub, he'll never say nothing else to you.
Exactly. So from the
first time I talked to you, we talked on the phone for like an hour. You know what? Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
I've known Mark for I've known for Mark barely 2 years, and I feel like I trust him more than I do a lot of people. Like Mark is a really good dude.
Look,
and
I did have the keys to your house.
You do. You still have a key to my house. But my whole thing is this, like,
and I'm coming back to get that Cowboys Jenga set too.
You better not touch my shit.
I forgot about the Jenga shit. Shit, when y'all going out of town again?
Ain't you got enough paraphernalia? Where you gonna put it at? Where you
know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get your
gods. Where's gonna go?
We wake up.
You know, my wife was saying she wanted a sunroom upstairs. Now, if we put a sunroom up on the deck, I can make me a studio.
I don't like skins no more.
God damn it.
You see how
No, but look, hold on, but look, real talk though. We joke around and play, but let me tell you something. This is all love right here. We all have our stories how we met Mark and each other. I met all of them through Mark. We already talked about how I met Voch at the draft. First of all, the Cowboys draft was huge.
Yeah,
I had so much fun. I don't think I've had that much fun in my whole life.
You was on the trip?
Yeah.
You rode down with us.
Right. We went to the ride. Go ahead.
Go back and look at the video that you were in on my goddamn channel when we were in the draft sitting in the
I'm
seat.
sorry.
Did you forget?
The last
No,
day
you know what? I tell you what.
Voch, we're not friends no more.
But see,
Those 2 drafts ago.
I wish my memory was great. I forget a lot of stuff.
Shout out to Miss Jackie. She's very.
Miss Jackie sends me like updates.
That,
you know why I'm always.
She's the cowboy auntie that supports all of her cowboys.
You know why I always beat your ass and beat your ass to the punch? Because Miss Jackie is forever sending me updates. If something happens, She said, I don't care if it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Give Miss Jackie my email.
That's the big
She
shit.
is gonna send me some stuff.
Miss Jackie,
She asked for
Yo,
it.
Easy, I tell you
Miss
what
Jackie's
though.
You have her number.
Easy.
Text it to her.
Easy, I tell you what though. She love all us, but if I'm live, you live, and Mark live, she ain't looking at us. She ain't listening what we got.
That's why I do my live stream on Thursday. Ain't nobody doing a damn
You
thing
gotta
on
be
Thursday. Thursday is my night. Thursday is my night. Okay.
I got Monday and Friday.
Thursday is my night, boo boo. You got Monday and Friday. This Negro got Wednesday, and he got whenever ain't nobody doing shit. So boom, boom, boom. Thursday night is my night, boo boo.
I be laying around on
Miss
fucking
Jackie,
Tuesday.
Stephanie. Oh look, he was hating because Stephanie was on my channel, and he was
I
like,
was
he's
like,
like,
oh,
why you
right.
cheating?
I
I was like, he was butthurt,
so mad.
He was so butthurt.
hot.
I was like, Mark, why you butthurt, bro?
Because he want all the love. You can't have all.
You can't have all the love. Well, you gotta share the
I'm
wealth.
needy,
You
man.
say it all the time. You gotta share the wealth, Mark. Come on, bro.
Yo,
I tell you what about
Hey,
Miss
you
Jackie
were
though.
hot. Yo, he was so mad.
That's my night, boo boo.
Hey, look,
All right.
hey, look, I tell you what about Miss Jackie though, dog.
Yeah, we love
Hey,
Miss
look,
Jackie.
First of
I
all,
was straightening my hair. I was like, nope.
First of all, she
I
get
was like-
fantastic hugs though, Miss Jackie.
She does. She
She
does.
get fantastic hugs. Second of all, she's really about her business.
She is. She don't play
she
no
was,
game.
she was in Dallas
She will
with the,
shut you down.
She was in Dallas with the whole shirt signing or whatever. And I was there with her. She was like, y'all need to come on here and sign the shirt so we can get this going. So we can go. And I'm like, man, that's somebody.
She remember that
She
That's
shit.
somebody mama out here. When I first met Miss Jackie, I was like,
It's like, yes, ma'am.
We had a dude walking the door. To sign the shirt. She was ready to go. She was sitting with me. She pulled out 3 pens, 3 different colors. Sign right here. She pulled the look, she pulled the shirt sign right here.
That's all.
Right.
Boss, I support you monthly through Patreon.
Who this
Miss
is?
Jackie said that.
Oh, yeah, Miss Jackie. Oh, look, Miss Jackie. I know you love us all. I thank you so much for your support, Miss Jackie. It's all love. We all one big family around here, Miss
That's
Jackie.
right.
However, if I'm live and Mark live,
right.
you have no idea what I was talking about.
Nah,
We playing.
We all family.
I always support Voch. Whenever Voch doing this thing, I always watch his video. I learn a lot from Voch.
I appreciate
Voch is younger than me. First of all, y'all don't realize, everybody think that Voch is the youngest dude here. Everybody thinks that Voch is like old head. Voch is a young dude, but he knows a lot.
29 in about a month.
Yeah, Voch is the youngest dude.
I'm
I'm
young.
29 about.
I'm the old ass
less
in
than
here,
us.
54.
And me and John,
32.
Yeah, I'm young.
so I'm the second oldest. So me and Mark are the oldest people in the room.
First and third, I believe.
So OG Junior?
I'm OG Junior, y'all. so that's my new nickname, y'all. So
OG Junior.
and I know, shout out to Dave Moore.
And
I know he gonna be like,
with your haircut, you do look like a little bit older.
no,
I'm just
actually,
saying
I
that.
was told I look 6 years younger.
Nah, actually, to me, you look
Then,
like...
no,
to
and then
me,
some of the subscribers, I know
Well,
some
you
of
know,
you guys
but
didn't
actually-
mean any
actually-
malice by it, but some of the subscribers hurt my feelings when I cut my hair. They was like, you look much better now. I was like, damn, what did I look like with my hair?
What was I saying this whole time?
So y'all was just following me because I spoke good? Like, I must have been ugly as I don't know what then.
Well, my daughter said I look better because I lost weight, and she said the haircut made me look like 10 years younger.
Well, my barber, shout out to my barber. This dude is a real MVP, man. Like, when he cut my hair,
When
let
you
me
look,
tell you the story
you
that
look
day.
sad
Like,
when you got your hair
hold on,
cut.
the day, I showed you.
You didn't plug
I
it?
did. I cried like.
I got real outlet right here.
Okay, cool.
So look, I was at the barbershop. I was waiting on 2 people, and I sat there. He looked over at me while he was cutting the last dude hair. He's like, "You ready to eat?"
You in the man cave, man.
I
We got
said,
everything.
I don't know. Let me go outside. So I sat in my car for like 10 minutes. I'm pacing back and forth,
You look at
debating
you,
if I'm gonna
man.
cut my hair or not. And I'm like, I was like, "Fuck it, just do it." So I'm sitting there, and like when he clipped the first one, it felt like
Emily and I did not forget about
it
you.
felt like it was a
I did
blood
not.
vessel connected to it because it hurt. It's like, he cut the first one. I was like, ain't no turning back now. They see,
Michael Anthony will
I'm
be
like,
29 next month.
I tell you what though, Mark and all
The
women
Denzel
on this
joint?
show, too, though.
that one, I had the glory tier.
You know why?
He too, Mark and all the women on his show.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because they look at me and say, "Oh, well, he's not dangerous."
That might be.
Who they say that about?
That might be true though.
Look at that. Oh, he old. He's married. He ain't dangerous.
That might be
that's true. Yeah.
Voch is
They
dangerous.
just don't know who the hell I am.
I'm not dangerous.
They don't know who I am either, for real. Y'all know me,
Well,
but
look,
y'all don't know me.
I'll tell you what. Please go and know my man right here. DMV Dallas Cowboys.
He said I sound like
E2Blu,
Magoo.
And
I don't know. That's
and
not a
Voch
compliment
Lombardi.
at all.
Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel.
Jumps the boogie jumps for
I hope you guys
jumps the
enjoyed
boogie.
this free for all, but this is a taste of what
Because
you're
I
going to
can
get
do
during the
voices.
season. So how often are you going to be coming up this way?
Every goddamn month.
No, I'm not.
Once a month.
No, I'm not.
Once a month. Like,
No, I'm not.
Period. Once a month.
Give him half a bottle of Mambo sauce.
I'll tell you what.
So if I buy, let me ask you. So if
I'll
I
be
buy
34 in August,
Mambo
yeah.
sauce by the gallon and the Texas whiskey,
I mean, we'll talk.
and we'll do shrimp
80s babies.
and the bang bang shrimp.
Wait, how long you gonna be here?
I mean, we'll talk. I'm only gonna be here for one day, so Mark should give me his mumbo sauces in the kitchen because I'm only here for 1 day.
It's already
I'm about to
open,
say,
man.
if you was here for another week, man, we could, yeah.
We'll talk. We'll talk when cameras.
Okay. Well, you know what? I've been on
I'm
here
always
for.
lit, yo.
I've been on here for over 2 hours and 15 minutes here, and
Is this a record?
no.
Oh no.
Can I do
when you
your
left it?
ending? Can I do your ending?
Oh, when you left it on? Went upstairs, went to sleep, and came
No,
I think the draft might be the longest.
Yeah, that was a long shot.
That was
that was
like
5 hours, 6 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a long time for the draft.
Miss
Although I
Jackie,
did
I'm
leave it
gonna give it to Mark so he can text it to you if he stopped acting like a chump. You see Miss Jackie asked for it, so I'm giving it to you. You see she said it in the chat box.
I know.
So let's not do that tonight. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming out to Mark Holmes' channel. This is your boy E2Blu with my man DMV Dallas Cowboys, Voch Lombardi, Michael Anthony Fitness,
How old
and
is
of
Mike
course
Tomlin?
our host
Mike Tomlin
Mark Holmes
with Mike Tomlin.
and your boy AKA Mike Tomlin.
Okay, Dallas Super Bowl. You gotta hold on.
The
Time
night is
out.
over.
Time out. Here's what you gotta understand is, this is not a whiskey household. Okay, you gotta understand this is a rum. I am a rum connoisseur. Okay,
Yeah.
I've got every kind of rum just about out there. It's just what I drink.
That motherfucking
So-
camera died again.
It did.
Did
That
it?
motherfucking camera died again.
Damn.
Can't shit stay alive for me.
My damn best.
Just wrap the show up.
My camera said.
I tried to wrap it up. I wrapped it up before the camera went out. Because I saw it blink and I was like, this your boy E2Blu. Thanks for everybody coming out. You saw how fast I did it? I was like,
That's weird.
Let's just leave. That's so dead ass. Can they hear us?
Hey, has that ever happened to you where the show just like cut
Okay,
off?
so I'm not sure what happened on the camera there. E2 probably broke it because it's like, wait a minute, E2's not supposed to be talking to my camera. But we have actually been on for over 2 hours. But I want to thank everybody for being here, being part of the show. And you know what time it is. It is time to turn off the lights. This party's over.
The party's over. They say that all. Good things must end.
That's weird because that's sort of been
Call it
so over
a
it.
night. The party's over.
I wonder if I've got a bad battery.
Tomorrow and next year, start the same old thing again.